Let's be live. There goes the notifications right when I said that. I said, let's be live, and then the first notification pops up. I'm like, yes, let's be live. Hello, welcome to the show. Hey, Brap.
Moo.
How's it going? No, you don't say moo to me. You're not cyber, bro. I'll block you. You do that shit again. You're not cyber real.
All day. Morning. Josh G.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Morning.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Patrick John Welder. Morning, Nick.
Hey, what's up, Patrick? Hey, Nick.
Brown.
What's up, buddy? Good morning, Josh.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today? All right. Good morning, everybody. Yes. What was that? I have to stop doing that because if the phone's going to buzz, we've got Stanley Steamer here, America's cleaner. They're here cleaning the carpets. And for some reason, I'm...
Brop all day. I corrected it, LOL, in driving.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. M-O-O-O. You were trying to write morning?
Nelson H.
And it came out moo?
Oh. Haven't seen your channel in a
Nelson!
while. Seen you cut your hair.
No, I didn't cut my hair.
Cheers, Nick.
Nelson, what's up, buddy? How's it going? I didn't cut my hair and I haven't been working out at all. I have no guns to show for my new sculpted me that I am. It's taken me years to get to this point, so it wasn't like an overnight transformation. So I know it's been a while since you've been watching. I mean, there were times in California when I was getting close to where I wanted to be physically, and I didn't push hard enough, and then I got involved with a girl who fattened me up. She cooked every night, and she made the greatest food, and I got so fat. And I knew it, but there was, we were drinking soda, and I was having chocolate, and man, I just let it all go to crap. And then after the relationship ended, I started trying to get back in shape, and I was just starting to do it, and I was starting to look good again, and I moved to Florida, and then my mom's cooking, bro. And then I was like, I was eating here, and she's got chocolate all over the house, and events, and we're going out to lunch, and we're Ubering in food, and then I realized, at some point, when I was like 190, what did I get up to? 190 something. I can't remember, and I go, dude, I've got to start taking this more seriously. I'm doing something wrong, obviously. So I got serious about it again, and now I'm getting it where I want to be, and I'm really happy. I'm not losing a lot of weight, because I'm putting on a lot of muscle, so that's fine. I'm still heavy. I weigh 190 pounds, but I got a big belly too, and that's the thing I gotta work on is cutting back,
all day.
eating bread. 5'9". How
tall are you?
I'm a tall 5'9". But I'm 5'9". There are 6 feet men who stand next to me and they swear that I'm bigger than them. I'm kidding.
Nelson H. Looking good, bro. Healthy.
Thank you. It helps to stay off as much sugar as possible, man. That is a big thing. Staying off, not drinking soda and staying off of sugar as much as possible. I'm drinking sugar right now in my coffee, but you can enjoy a little bit and still have, and still make progress. I did 200 push-ups this morning, 2 sets of 100. I do these exercises where I take 40 pounds and I hold it behind my head and I do this. I do a set of like 12 and then I do a set of like 10.
Josh G. Desk looks so clean and bong acceptable.
My desk, look, you can't even see my desk. What are you talking about?
Patrick John Welder.
Here, let me show you the desk.
Soda is absolutely the worst. Some people don't know what 60 AMS of sugar really looks like.
Oh, bro, I'll show you what 60 grams of sugar looks like. It looks like this, hanging over the side of my jeans. That's what 60 grams of sugar looks like, bro. And this is what bread looks like. You know, if I could eliminate the bread and the sugar, because bread turns into sugar in your body. I was just thinking about that. I eat a lot of bread. I eat a bagel every morning, just about. And this morning I had an English muffin, so that cut down the amount of bread in half, basically. But the good thing about all this is I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. Yeah, I just do what I know is right, and it helps. And a little at a time goes a long way, and you don't have to be in any pain. You don't have to experience pain. I mean, when I get to the end of my push-up sets, I can make it hurt, or I don't have to make it hurt. I could push hard, or I could take it easy, and you don't have to push hard, man. You know, you don't have to do to the point where your wrists are going to be sore for the whole freaking week, you know? And I'm not like that. Now, my wrists are getting stronger, which is important to me because I play guitar. Can I close this without you flipping? I'm right here. You can sit outside. The cat has to come in if I close the... Watch. 3, 2, 1. Cat. I mean, on call. But, you know, I want to smoke, and I don't want... I want you to be able to see the smoke rings. So we're good here. Okay, good. Hey, everybody. We're talking about a little physical fitness today, but we've got about 20 news stories to go over. Now, those of you who've taken the time to go over to Twitter and follow me, I want to say thank you. I'm noticing a lot more of you there. So thank you for coming over to Twitter, man. I'm trying to be nice about it. Understand my frustration, but I'm being nice about it, and I'm asking you again nicely. Please come to Twitter and support me over there. A lot of people are. And I want you to know who just followed me on Twitter. It's in the title of this video. And I couldn't be more tickled over this. I immediately went and told my mom, Mom, you're not going to believe who just followed me on Twitter. And she doesn't even follow a lot of people, right? So, all of a sudden I can't find this. Hold on, let me keep going here. Here, Rebekah Jones. So she liked my tweet and she followed me, which was a retweet of her tweet, which is probably one of the most important tweets I've ever seen on Twitter. Because as I told you, I've been making jokes the last few days. I should do a PowerPoint. I should make a video about Ron DeSantis, and I could go on to other people's shows, and I could go down the list. Well, Rebekah Jones, the whistleblower who revealed to the world that Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida were lying about the COVID death numbers in this state. People like Jimmy Dore and people like Joe Rogan didn't want to talk about Rebekah Jones. Oh, they only wanted to talk about Ron DeSantis. But they never wanted to bring Rebekah Jones on their show for the honest data, for the truth, so that people would know that Ron DeSantis is a big liar and he's hiding numbers. But Rebekah Jones used to work for the state of Florida, and she was a whistleblower, and she went through court and got sued over this. She lost her job. She's been run through the mud by Ron DeSantis and the Republicans. And people like Jimmy Dore and Tim Pool and Joe Rogan, the people who have always been lifting Ron DeSantis up, those are the same people that need to go seek out Rebekah Jones and ask her on their show and get the truth for a change and give the truth to their audiences.
Hey, talking about this morning.
Scooby, what's up, buddy? What shenanigans are we talking about this morning? We are talking about the shenanigans that the state of Florida and Ron DeSantis played with the COVID numbers here, and why Florida was able to claim that they were doing so great with COVID, when in reality, all of our friends were dropping dead over this. You know, we were losing friends and family, man. And he's out there bragging about being number one. Number one in what? Fascism? Number one in hate? I could go on and on and on. It's a played out trope. But at the same time, man, I mean, seriously, number one? How about number two? Because you're a big piece of shit. You want me to go on? This stuff writes itself, folks. Anyway, I don't mean to get all pissy and moany, all right?
All the numbers are fudged even in Australia.
I don't mean to get all pissy and moany. I understand Australia's bad. I don't mean to get all pissy and moany. I want to be positive and say thank you to Rebekah Jones for following me on Twitter. Now, she may have just seen that I retweeted her and she just did that. But then I went to her page because I was like, does she just follow everybody back that retweets her and likes her stuff? She's followed by 396,000 people. Okay? Over 250,000 people follow Rebekah on Twitter. Do you know how many people she follows back? 4,346 now. Because I'm the 6th. I'm the 46th. She doesn't follow a lot of people. So, when I saw that, I was honored. I was like, what an honor to have a truth teller, a whistleblower, a person who put her life on the freaking train tracks so that she could tell the world that Ron DeSantis was lying to them. She put it all on the line and she lost everything. And you can help her just by retweeting her and following her on Twitter. That would be nice. That would be a great start. And I'm sure most of you are already following me on Twitter. Thank you for that. Her @ is GeoRebekah. And I'm going to give it to you in the chat right now. If you're watching on... I'm going to put this all in there. Look at this. Look, Rebekah Jones @ GeoRebekah follows you. You guys like that? She follows me. And I would love for all of you to follow me too. So if the greatest whistleblower against Ron DeSantis in existence today is Rebekah Jones follows me on Twitter, certainly you might be asking yourself, well, wait, I'm a supporter of Nay. I watch him every day. Why aren't I on Twitter following him yet? If somebody with 400,000 followers chose to follow Nay, why aren't I following him? I've got 10 followers on Twitter. Why wouldn't I follow the guy that I watch 3 times a day? Food for thought. Follow me on Twitter. I put a lot of content up there. You know, the day that you follow me, I might not be tweeting, but maybe the next day, right? It doesn't matter. I put up a lot of good stuff. It's information that people should probably have more access to. I'm sad that people aren't, but at least we tried. And, you know, I'll feel good. I'll feel good the day that I die. I'll feel good the day that I die because I've done everything that I could possibly do to try to get these messages out to people who would benefit from them. And I've been spending my whole online life trying to help other people with facts and information and the truth. That's all I'm trying to do. This is what Rebekah Jones wanted to do. This is what people like Lee Camp and Ron Placone and Graham Elwood are trying to do.
The freaking Oracle.
Hey, Oracle.
Morning all. Driving and listening.
Excellent. But it's a win for me, man.
Thunder Diesel.
I feel like I'm sitting on top of the world
Even
today.
Even though I'm not American, but the information you put out is relevant worldwide.
Thank you, Scooby. That's very nice of you to say.
Thunder Diesel. Go asterisk.
Even no. Oh yeah, even though. I got you. So this is all my money disappearing before our eyes. It's evaporating, man. So the market's crashing right now. It's not real. It's not a happy thing to watch. Here is what was at one time 55,000 is now 37,000. Jerome Powell went out and made some statements yesterday and really crashed the whole stock and crypto market. And we just got to wait and see what's going to happen. I mean, I could walk with my $2,000. I could pull my $2,000 and say, hey, I made $2,000. Or I could just let it sit in there. I'm going to let it sit in there. And hope. Hope for the best. You know who the Forbes Tech Person of the Year was in 2020? Whistleblower Rebekah Jones. who followed me on Twitter today. I'm sorry. She was Tech Person of the Year, bro. She's following at Nate's Garden on Twitter now. Forbes Tech Person of the Year is following yours truly. So, for those of you who want to know about all the stories we're going to be talking about on today's show, before we talk about them, follow me on Twitter, because that's where I mention them. Holly is talking to me on Twitter.
Andrew, hey. Good morning to the little early bird that are here to enjoy the show, and to you losers, get the asterisk out. Andrew, hey. Why am I still awake after not sleeping yesterday?
It sounds like insomnia, bro. Sounds like you got insomnia. That is that's a serious thing. People suffer from that. Got a buddy that doesn't sleep a lot. He's on team no sleep, he calls it. But he finds things to do, so he's hyper active, and not hyperactive, but he does more activity and gets more things done. So I guess hyperactive would be a term to use, but he doesn't suffer from hyperactivity. Actually, he's very calm. But he, he's in bust ass mode constantly.
Andrew, hey. I suffer from ADHD, so yeah, it affects sleep.
I suffer from ADHD, hypomanic, bipolarity, hyperactive. I've never had a problem with sleep, bro. Never. Sleep is just not one of my problems. It might not be your ADHD that's keeping you awake, is what I'm trying to say. It might be insomnia. Is there anybody else out there in the audience with ADHD that has a hard time sleeping? That actually is the first time I've ever heard anybody say that ADHD keeps them awake and keeps them from sleeping. You're the first person. Maybe it's just something I've never heard of before. Chuck Schumer. Hey, guess what we're going to talk about? The January 6 hearings and the Tucker Carlson news dump.
Patrick John Welder. Yeah, but it's my Adderall that has me sleeping late. Nick Brown. I have a hard time crashing. Hash. Yeah, I have ADHD but sleeping good. Thunder Diesel. My wife has ADHD and sleeps like a baby. Stephen Running. Good morning. Josh G. Oh, gonna be a good show then.
Why is it going to be a good show? What did I say? Did we say something?
Andrew, hey. I'm the show today.
I'm the show today, says Andrew.
Thunder Diesel. Haha. Andrew, hey. I came to take over the world of Nays streams.
Take over the world of Nays streams. Andrew Hay. Alright, whatever. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers to everybody. Andrew, Thunder,
Roger Batchelder.
Roger,
Cheers,
Nick. I lost the whole chat. I don't know where everybody... Oh, there it is. Hash, Nick, Patrick, John Welder, Andrew,
Andrew, hey.
Thunder.
Cheers.
Freaking Oracle. Nelson, Brap. Cheers, all you guys. Wow, there's a lot of chat going on this morning. Holy moly. Our house is getting steam cleaned. I'm so happy. It's going to be so beautiful in here.
Nick Brown. Was fun exploring yesterday. I like to look around on Google Maps.
Oh, yeah. That was really cool following the St. Johns River, bro. It's a long trip in a canoe. It's a whole day. But you imagine that's how people used to travel through the state before there were roads. Okay, what else am we going to cover here? Oh yeah, let's talk about women. CNN wants us to talk about women. Let's talk about them. So this morning I was watching the IMF chief, Kristalina Georgieva. She's the managing director of the International Monetary Fund.
Stuff.
Right? So she's like a big wig in the financial world. And she's friends with like Jerome Powell and the Fed and all the big sources of money and shit. And she came on and she was talking about it's International Women's Day and how because of people like her that are women, the world is so great now because women have really changed everything and made it better. And that men are horrible at making decisions.
What about TikTok getting Angel
and
banned
that
in the USA?
Women are the ones who need to be making all the decisions, not men. Humanity hasn't lasted this many years due to the fact that, men were muddying it all up and screwing everything up. It doesn't even make sense, does it? Who were the hunters and the gatherers? Who were the ones that went to war for you? Who were the soldiers that protected you? Who were most of the police officers when you were growing up in this country? And up until recently, who were all the freaking politicians? It was all men that got us to this point, ladies. So let's give some credit where credit is due. I'm sure some of you have some great things to offer, and I'm waiting. I mean, there's Rebekah Jones. Maybe more of you should try to be like Rebekah Jones, ladies. I mean, I could name a few other women out there that I appreciate and respect. But in this specific case, my point being, hey man, you don't exclude half of humanity to try to say that women are great. Once again, it's exclusive and it's discriminatory against my gender. can I say that? And if you want to have a Women's Day and you want to celebrate all the things that women have done, you know, I would suggest that you have, you know, possibly someone else on your show other than, you know, the woman who's supposedly in charge of the International Monetary Fund, that you want to know what her parting statement was on that segment. Yeah, we need to keep sending money to Ukraine and keep the war going because those Ukrainians are great people. Said the woman. Said the woman. You know, because they're such great decision makers. It was like, so you did a whole segment trying to say how great women were because she's in this huge position of power and the world's doing so great now because of her. We're all in such great order now because of her. And, oh, by the way, we're going to spend all of our money fighting for the Ukrainians because they're good people and they deserve to be defended by the rest of the world. And all of our money needs to go to them. You know, that they weren't shelling the Donbass and murdering ethnic Russians for years in their own country. That never happened. It didn't happen. I didn't hear any of that. It didn't happen. Civilians, you murdered. So in your little on your Woman's Day with your little pink dress on, celebrating women, try to remember that. You know, you're partly guilty. You're sending you're saluting them off as they're going off there to fight this war. For you.
Josh G.
All the men are on the battlefield bleeding for you. Crazy, huh? But you know, men are just, you know, they're bad decision makers.
Thunder Diesel. Preach.
Where's all my ladies today? Where's my ladies in my chat? It's all men today, I guess. Really? Today is International Women's Day. And I can't get a single girl to tell me hello in my chat. What kind of women are you? I guess there's just no girls up yet. They're all sleeping in. They're all out there changing the world, man. They're all out there. You know where the women are? They're not here.
Patrick John
They're all out
Welder.
there making all the decisions for us.
I know a lot
I'm so
of
thankful
women
for
who
the
stay
women.
at home and the man makes all the money and decisions. I have a feeling that's what most women want. Andrew Hay. They don't exist here in the USA.
Men don't exist. It's a thing of the past, I guess, being a man.
Robert Ramos. Taking the kids' school. Josh G.
All right, Robert.
Nay, did you hear the good news about YouTube revoking their profanity filter for monetized channels?
What about other channels?
The
Why is it
freaking
just
oracle.
monetized channels? My channel
Anyone
lost
can make a bad
monetization,
decision
man.
when that are paid enough.
They just sent me a message. They're like, we've determined that your channel no longer qualifies for monetization based on the content you produce. And I was like, yep, seems about right. I am, advertiser-friendly content. That's what I strive to be, advertiser-friendly. Right. It's non-advertiser-friendly content. That's what we are here.
Bra all
And
day.
I couldn't give a fuck.
Prepping my pork shoulder. Putting on the smoker before I head to work.
Nick, thank you for supporting me on Twitter, buddy. I do appreciate that so much.
Less Peter Guitar Jam. Moo. Nick Brown.
Hey, Moo. Cyber, what's up, brother?
Anytime, bro, trying to get back into the habits.
Hey, bro. Moo. Want to smoke?
Yes. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm packing.
Okay. I'm having an argument with my friend on Twitter. It's at Jib Monkey, the guy who has the grandfathered in animated avatar on Twitter. He's like the only person I know on Twitter with an animated avatar. He got grandfathered in. They stopped them, but he did his earlier, so he got to keep his. That guy is arguing with me that because of the additional footage that was released on the January 6th day that shows all the people just peacefully walking in and looking around and touring around and not being violent, that proves that it wasn't a violent insurrection.
Yeah, but those people, there was the second wave, right? What about the first wave?
It only lasted 2 hours. There were only 2 hours. So over a period of 2 hours, there were violent people and there were non-violent people in there. Obviously, that's what the video shows. There were a lot of people that their intent wasn't to go in there and destroy the building. But there were some people whose intent it was to do that. Those are the people that I want to focus on.
No, people came with weapons and everything.
Yeah, people came with weapons. So some people came with weapons with the intent. Some people came with zip ties to tie senators up and hold them hostage. It was, some people were planning something. That's really what that January 6th committee focused on. Yes, there were thousands of other people that walked through that building that weren't involved. And that is all that video proves, is that some of the people that were there weren't involved in the violence. But who cares? It's so funny, all of the anecdotal, all of the analogies people are putting up. They're like, this is a picture of 1937 Germany. Seems fine to me. It just shows some people walking through the street. 1937 Germany. Get it? Right before ever the shit hit the fan. And, there's basically the same thing. And I've seen a million other examples of people coming up with, like, they show the Kennedy assassination. They show Robert F. Kennedy coming around the corner with police. They're like, they didn't want you to see this footage. And it's before the murder happens. And they show the video and they're like, aha! There was some peaceful time going on there before the president got assassinated. It sounds stupid because it is. That's why it's hard for me to make it make sense to you while I'm explaining it to you. And by the way, it's almost 4:20.
Yeah, I'm packed.
Okay, cheers, Cyber. Cheers, everybody in the chats. It's Brad.
Cheers, bro. Cheers, everybody.
Beer cheers.
Okay, man, cool. All right. It's bad data.
I saw in the Danish news that. Hold on, I need to cough. 1 second. All right, let's try again. I saw in the Danish news that they on Danish ground they found that boat that probably was used to transport the people out to the Nord Stream pipeline and blow it up.
I'm sorry. What did they find?
Yeah, a yacht that was used to sail out to the Nord Stream pipeline and blow it up. It was rented by 4 men and 1 woman. I just saw it here earlier.
What are you talking about?
The Nord Stream pipeline that blown up.
It got blown up from a sortie from American soldiers that took off in helicopters
No,
from Poland.
I don't know what you think, but the German police have trailed it back to a yacht that took off from a Danish island called Christiansø. And that sailed all the way out to Nord Stream and blew it up. They found the fucking boat, bro. It was rented by 4 men and 1 woman under false name and false passports and all that shit. It just popped up in the news.
Who are those 4 people?
They don't know. They had 5 people, 4 men and 1 woman. They have false names, false passport, and everything.
So how
And
come helicopters left from Poland?
They found traces of explosives back on the boat.
Then how did the fucking choppers get tracked out there and get seen? And
I don't know. I'm just fucking say what the news said. I mean, that's all I have to go after. It just literally popped up 30 minutes ago.
the fuck, dude? I should read what that guy said. I don't even know what he says. He's got all the evidence that proves the United States did that. I wonder if it has anything to do with those dudes. The yacht.
It says here, now I'm paraphrasing, a boat that most likely harbored on Christian's Island was searched, and it is connected to the Nord Stream sabotage. The German DA or whatever you confirmed Wednesday that the boat that was suspected of being involved in Nord Stream sabotage have been searched. And then, hold on, and they the search happened the 18th to 20 January, and they found traces of explosive on it.
I bet it was the United States that did it.
Oh yeah, I don't say it's not. I'm just saying they found the boat. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
And I still
I'm
want to
not
know
saying
what the
who
fuck
did
was
it and who
going
did
on.
not did it. I'm just saying that it's in the news that they found the boat. That's all I'm saying.
I guess we won't know anything until we find out who the people were who were on that boat. Or wait, the boat went out of
And
Germany.
we probably,
Where did the boat go out of Denmark?
yeah, you know that Nord Stream pipeline running through Danish fucking waters, right? It was blew up in Danish waters.
Stephen running.
Right.
Pro
And that
Ukraine
island,
forces.
Christian's Island, is a part of. I cannot talk with that bot going on. It's a part of the, Bornholm, that island we have close to Sweden. It's kind of part of that island, and it was there that boat took off from. It went back there afterward. It had blown up the pipeline, and they don't know who the people are. It was rented by 4 men and 1 female. All use fake name, fake passports and shit. So we're probably never gonna find out who they are. But it was apparently Germany who made that investigation, not Denmark.
I'm thinking fucking CIA. I mean, how else
I
are you
wouldn't be
gonna
surprised.
get all the
Wouldn't be
fucking
surprised.
passports and get them hidden Where are they going to get underwater
Yeah.
fucking explosive charges that are remotely detonated, bro? You know, it's like, what'd they do? Drop hand grenades on that motherfucker?
The
Yeah.
freaking oracle.
It probably could be CIA.
4 seals and a woman to throw everyone off.
Right, the woman was the cover. But yeah,
Yeah.
they should be able to identify whoever rented them the boat if it was a face-to-face deal. A big old deal like that, it's usually face-to-face. How are you going to just do it online?
Yeah, it was a yacht. It was not just a small boat. It was a fucking yacht, man.
I cannot wait for this to come out and find out what the fuck's going on.
After that explosion, U.S. liquid gas export to EU soar.
We got to find out who the dude was that did the expose on that and just see what his information was. Because I don't even know what he said. I never even read it. All I heard was that there was a Polish NATO base or something.
Oracle.
American soldiers got on a chopper, 2 choppers, I thought, and went out there. That's what I thought. That's what I heard. I don't even know where I heard that now.
For all that matters, that could still be the story, you know. I mean, we have no proof that that news article was really what happened, you know. It all comes to all. Even it sounds plausible, you know.
The freaking oracle. If it was a rebel up, they would have claimed a victory.
Seymour Hersh. So that's who did the article, Seymour Hersh. So if we could find his reporting, we'll see what his proof is. See if he has any details, you know. All right. U.S. Navy, he claims, has alleged U.S. Navy divers laid bombs that destroyed the Nord Stream 2 natural gas pipeline. Could very easily have been on that yacht.
Yeah.
All right.
It sounds very, very plausible. It really does.
Pulitzer Prize winning journal. This is from New York Post, which is not the most trustworthy source of news. Pulitzer Prize winning journalist Seymour Hersh has alleged U.S. Navy divers laid bombs that destroyed the Nord Stream 2 natural gas pipeline under Baltic Sea last September, drawing a denial from the Pentagon Wednesday. Hersh, who's the Pentagon's going to go, no, it wasn't us, it was the CIA.
Oh, then it didn't happen, of course.
It was the fucking CIA. Hersh, who scooped journalism's top award more than 5 decades ago for exposing the My Lai massacre of Vietnamese civilians by U.S. troops in 1968, cited an unnamed source in reporting on Substack that Americans planted remotely triggered explosives that wrecked 3 of the 4 pipelines built to carry natural gas from Russia to Europe. Hersh, 85, he's 85 years old, this guy, went on to claim that the Navy conducted the operation under the cover of a NATO maritime exercise, Ball Tops 22, and he names the exercise.
But I have a comment to that. That exercise take place every year, and have for I don't know how long. So they just use that.
That's what it said. He said use it as cover.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was not. My point was, it was not an exercise set up to cover it. It's this exercise happened every year.
No, they just scheduled it during the yearly thing, bro. That's how you hide it.
Yeah.
Okay. The United States denies it. Swedish officials suspected the blast were a result of gross sabotage. And some Western officials were quick to blame the attacks on Moscow as it blocked gas supplies to Europe in response to sanctions over last year's invasion of Ukraine. Who said that? Some Western officials. Yeah, whatever. You guys are idiots. We know it was you. Okay, these are deliberate actions, not an accident. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said at the time, the situation is as serious as it gets. Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Seymour Hersh believes U.S. Navy divers laid bombs that destroyed the Nord Stream 2, but the Defense Department denies the allegations. Russian Foreign Minister spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said in response to Hersh's report that Moscow had repeatedly expressed its beliefs that the United States and NATO were involved in the explosions. Dude, is this the reporting? While Germany initially resisted canceling the project, halted the pipelines. Hersh's report. No, Hersh's report suggested by. This is not the report. To stop Russian weaponizing natural gas, and the rest of Europe relied heavily on Russia for natural gas. Without the pipelines, Europe would be forced to end its reliance on Moscow, starving Russia billions of dollars. This is all unimportant. Hersh, a former reporter of the Associated Press and New York Times, as well as longtime contributor to the New Yorker, quoted White House spokesperson Adrienne Watson as calling his report false and complete fiction. Hersh also quoted CIA spokesperson Tammy Thorpe, who wrote in an email, "This claim is completely and utterly false." Hersh previously drew the wrath of the United States government when he claimed in a 2013 interview that the official story of the operation that killed Osama bin Laden was one big lie. Oops. Oops, Obama, what'd you do? This is interesting. I didn't know any of this. Let me turn off my video noise too. Two years later, Hersh published an account in the London Review of Books that claimed the Al-Qaeda kingpin was a prisoner of Pakistani authorities at the time he was killed, and that the CIA was tipped off to his whereabouts by a member of the country's powerful intelligence service, rather than bin Laden's courier, as the Obama administration claimed. Then White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest said Hersh's report was riddled with inaccuracy and outright falsehoods, while former CIA Deputy Director Michael Morrell told CBS News at the time that he got a third of the way through the article and stopped because every sentence I was reading was wrong. Yeah, that's what I would say too if someone wrote a report exposing me and my bullshit. That's the end of this article. So that is not his reporting. Seymour Hersh's reporting. This was some moron. Where's a link to his article? Destroy the laid bombs that destroy the... Where will this link take me? Destroyed the Nord Stream 2. Sabotage suspected. These are old articles. There's no doubt this was not an earthquake. Now this is interesting. This is listen to this. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki joined the Swedes Tuesday in calling the new leaks an act of sabotage. We can clearly see that this is an act of sabotage, an act that probably means a next step of escalation in the situation that we're dealing with in Ukraine. So what the Polish Prime Minister is saying is that America intentionally escalated the war in Ukraine. Intentionally. That's what he's saying. And this is from, again, the New York Post. It's a direct quote, though, taken from the Polish Prime Minister. Wow. Danish Prime Minister said foul play could not be ruled out. This was all, we can't imagine a scenario that this isn't a targeted attack. This is all old shit. I want to see that freaking German report, bro. I want to see it popping up on Twitter, man. When are people going to start knowing about it?
I can link you the Danish side.
Dude, if that's going to
But
take
you probably-
goddamn the heat off of fucking the American, the military, bro, and off of the Biden administration, it's bullshit. If they can't trace who those 5 people are. Fuck, man. I wonder how many Americans go into Denmark. You know, every day.
Right now, American is selling F-35 to Denmark, and Danish pilots have been training right now. And we will receive the F-35 in later this year, and the exercise is ending March 16, I believe.
I just figured this out,
So
bro.
there's
Those were Danish citizens. Those were CIA fucking Danish, American CIA agents that live in Denmark, I bet. I bet they got
That would probably
people.
not.
I bet they got people in every country, bro. And if they have to do
I
something like
wouldn't be
that,
surprised.
they could just make
Yeah.
a phone call. But what's Russell dumbass saying about it?
Nord Stream pipeline, which, you know, was blown up mysteriously. Guess what's happened? Since it's been blown up, the US has done a load of gas deals with European nations. Wow, what an extraordinary coincidence. The US is set to double its gas exports to the UK under plans to clamp down on rising living costs by weaning Britain of Russian energy. That was always the intention, to just take over gas exports from Russia. But why take my word for it?
You simply want to change the structure of energy dependence.
You want to change that structure by blowing it up.
For years, we've tried to get the Europeans to be interested in different pipeline routes. It's time to do that. You want to depend more on the North American energy platform, have pipelines that don't go through Ukraine and Russia.
Dude, I need to, my mother needs to watch this. This was, you know, an administration that she trusted.
But there is a pipeline going through Ukraine and Russia. Not anymore, there isn't.
If Russia invades, there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that?
I promise you we'll be able to do it.
So,
I am so glad that Russell Brand did this. I already did it. I already had that on my show. And I'm so glad because no one sees my show. But you know what? It's already got 55,000 views. I'd like to see this get millions of views.
nothing to worry about here then. The Nord Stream pipeline, which, you know, was blown up mysteriously. Guess what's happened? Since it's been blown up, the US has done a load of gas deals with European nations. Wow, what an extraordinary coincidence. The US is set to double its gas exports to the UK under plans to clamp down on rising living costs by...
That is sheer insanity. What's going on is just the fact that they left a little trail of breadcrumbs. Oops. Oh, someone should tweet that with your retweet on that one. Say, hey, oops, United States, did you leave a little trail of breadcrumbs by accident for everyone to follow and see what you've done? I want my mom to see that video. You got to restructure the energy.
I found a link. It's not from the Danish. It's from Financial Times, but they talk about the same thing.
Really?
Give you a link. Yeah.
Well, I'll share that bitch on Twitter. Make that shit trend. this is psychotic. Germany
As
searched
Germany
ships
searched
suspected of
ships suspected of transporting Nord
saboteurs.
Stream saboteurs.
That's a cookies thing, okay. That says it's not letting me read it. Oh, except cookies. Unlock this. Subscribe to unlock this site. It says. You subscribed, huh, to the Financial Times?
No, I'm not subscribed. I'm not subscribed.
Keep reading for $1.
Hold on.
That's funny.
Hold on. I'm not subscribed. I just clicked.
I believe you. I totally believe that you are not subscribed to the FinancialTimes.com.
Yeah.
I totally believe. I want you to know that.
I am definitely not.
But the thing was, I was like trying to figure out
finding-
why can you see this article and I cannot. Now, I'll tell you why. It's because this is like my third visit to the site. So once you've gone 3 times, they pull this shit.
If it is, I have another link to another site.
I'm gonna try to visit it from a open in a private. Okay, copy. I'm gonna open up a.
Oh, it was fucking the same link, I think. What the fuck?
I'm gonna try to open it up.
Oh no.
Incognito.
I was wrong.
How to
I was
do
wrong.
this. Open.
This link here.
Oh wait, it's over here, right?
Try
New in private window. Here we go. Paste. Keep reading for $1. They got me, man. Even in my in private window. These fuckers. I'll find a free link to that article. Look. Germany cautious over Nord Stream. Oh, is that another
Yeah, it's
one?
not totally the same.
Oh,
but
cool. No,
it's
that's
all
cool.
about
That's
the
cool.
same.
It doesn't have to be the same. Germany cautious over. Subscribe. Dude, what the fuck? This one too, bro? I've never been to this site.
I'm not subscribed to that either. What the
Isn't
fuck?
this crazy? It's in Spanish.
Yeah, but it's in
This is so
I see it in English.
It's gotta. Oh, it says okay. Accept cookies. Okay, I'm good. We need to clear. I had to do 2 accept. This is what has happened to the internet. Is
It's bullshit.
oh
dude.
my god, it's freaking horrendous what is going on with the internet. The other day I was watching somebody else was on YouTube. They were watching YouTube videos or whatever. And every time they were pulling up a thing or whatever, there was an advertisement. And I was like, you know, you can use Ad Blocker Plus and you won't get those. And they're like, what? They've been watching YouTube for years and didn't realize.
Wow.
Then they've been watching ads. Every video, an ad pops up. And I'm like, I couldn't live like that now that I know that there's a way around it. But now they're trying to find ways around that. So it's just a matter of time.
That's why I ended up buying premium, because some movies and shit you watch, there is forced commercials even with ad blocker. So
It's
I
freaking
fucking
pain.
bent over and bought premium.
Yeah, well, you know, if you're spending a lot of time on their service, it's a good idea. You know, who wants to spend half
It
of your
is,
time
I
watching
mean-
freaking things that you aren't even interested in, things that you know you don't want to
Yeah.
buy. That's so stupid.
Exactly.
Okay. Germany's defense minister voiced caution Wednesday over media reports that a pro-Ukraine group was involved in blowing up the Nord Stream gas pipeline in the Baltic Sea last year. Okay, so the defense minister, one dude is saying, he's voicing caution. German daily newspaper Die Zeit and public broadcasters ARD and SWR reported Tuesday that investigators were able to largely reconstruct how the pipelines from Russia to Germany were sabotaged on the night of September 26, 2022, citing multiple unnamed officials. The news, I'm going to start packing, Cyber. The news outlets reported that, because it's quarter of the hour, the news outlets reported that 5 men and a woman used a yacht hired by Ukrainian-owned company in Poland to carry out the attack. German federal prosecutor.
No way.
Hired by a Ukrainian-owned company in Poland to carry out the attack. 5 men and a woman.
Totally false flag.
German federal prosecutors confirmed that a boat was searched in January. The New York Times also reported Tuesday that U.S. officials reviewed intelligence that suggested a pro-Ukrainian group was behind the blasts. The Ukrainian government has denied involvement. Well, dude, they also denied involvement in that bridge they blew up. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said he read the news reports with great interest, but warned against drawing hasty conclusions. We need to clearly differentiate whether it was a Ukrainian group that acted on the orders of Ukraine without the government's knowledge, he told reporters in Stockholm. Speaking on the sidelines of a European Union defense ministers meeting, Pistorius, that's a funny name, Pistorius. That's what I want to call Ron DeSantis, Ron Pistorius, because he used to collect urine samples. That was his job. Ron DeSantis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis. Oh, my God, Ron DeSantis. I'm hashtagging that.
What a job. From that to governor, that's a pretty steep promotion.
Ron DeSantis. Why am I the greatest hashtagger of all time? Everyone will know what that means, because it was huge on Twitter that Ron DeSantis wasn't a pilot, but instead he was a penis pilot. He used to have people pee in cups. That's what he did. That's what he did. He collected urine samples. That's what Ron DeSantis did. He had to stand there and make sure it was their penis and not a fake one, too. So he had to look at a lot of dicks in the military, which is hilarious. What a cuck. Stand there and watch people take a piss. That is literally the definition of a cuck. Don't you wish it was you peeing, Ron? Oh, a Ron European. Oh, what a... All right.
Brap all day.
No. Oh, boom. Cheers, Cyber. Brap. Hash.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, everybody in the chats. We're smoking. Good idiot. We're smoking, man.
Smoke a ball.
Hash. Cheers.
It would not be the first time in history of such events, the German minister said. As such, I'm refraining from drawing premature conclusions. Okay, so, he's whatever. If these are German investigators, I have a feeling they know what the fuck they're doing. So, whatever. Asked whether the reports could undermine Western support for Ukraine, Pistorius said he preferred to respond once he had reliable information. Anything else is hypothetical, he added. Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov. Ooh. Oleksiy Reznikov. Now that is a freaking name. Rejected suggestions that the attack might have been ordered by Kiev. It's like a compliment for our special forces, but this is not our activity, he told reporters in Stockholm. According to the German media reports, the suspects used forged passports when hiring the boat, which set off from the German. Now sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a faithful trip that started from this German port of Rostock in Germany. From Rostock in Germany. A captain, 2 divers, 2 diving assistants, and a doctor made up the group, ARD reported. Germany's Federal Prosecutor's Office declined to comment directly on the reports, but it confirmed that investigators conducted a search from January 18th to 20th in connection with a suspicious boat hire. There is a suspicion that the boat in question could have been to transport explosive devices that exploded on. Hey, man, they could have been working with the goddamn helicopters. Maybe they went out there to drop that shit off, or maybe they were just transporting it. And because the military couldn't fucking transport those explosives for some reason, Yeah. Maybe there would have to be a log of them transporting those explosives. Right? They probably just can't load shit on a chopper and take it out without there being some kind of someone answering to it, even in a top secret mission. Who knows? This is starting to make sense now. It's all, I can see it now. I can totally see this. Now, if September 26, 2022, that op was active out there.
Yanatorch.
Bro,
Privet Bratan.
you're not going to go plant explosives on a day known for operations in the area, are ya? You're going to go out there and meet those dudes. And that's what happened. It's, bro, just common sensing through this. It's probably everything we've heard is true. It makes perfect sense. So this Hirsch guy's probably got it right. This reporting that the Germans probably have it correct. And they were all working together, man. Because like Biden said, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
You know, we're real good at doing this kind of shit. We're not really good at, war per se. We're not really good at, making good decisions or, economy or healthcare or anything like that. But we're really good at assassinating and blowing shit up and covering it up. We're really good at hiding our tracks. Psst. All right. There is a suspicion the boat in question could have been sent to the prosecutor. Okay, there is a suspicion that the boat in question could have been to transport explosive devices that exploded on September 26, 2022 on the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines. The prosecutor's office said in an email to the Associated Press. The evaluation of the seized traces and objects is ongoing. Objects? What seized objects did they find, I wonder? The identity of the perpetrators and their motives are the subject of ongoing investigations, it added. At present, it is not possible to make any reliable statements on this, in particular on the question of state control. In the course of the further investigation, this is still quoted, all leads to clarify the facts of the case will be pursued, end quote. Prosecutor said, starting to quote again, there are no grounds for suspecting employees of the German company that leased the ship. Okay. So, they leased the ship. Let's have a conversation with those people that leased the ship. The salespeople. And just see how much information out of those people we can get. What they look like. They have accents. They spoke English. What language were you speaking? And wouldn't a big yacht rental place have security cameras?
One would imagine.
Yeah, right. There might have been a couple of dudes in black coats that went over there one day and said, hey man, we're going to need the footage from blah, blah, blah. We were from the CIA. And people were like, okay. I have a feeling that footage is going to be gone from that yacht place. White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby, we all know John Kirby, declined Tuesday to comment on the New York Times report. Oh, really? Mr. Talkie-Talkie-Talkie-Talkie-Talkieton? He really, all of a sudden, he doesn't want to do any talkie-talkie anymore? What's up with that? That's really bad, bro. This is all coming together. Holy moly. Not even Kirby the Talkie-Talkerton wanted to talk about it. He's always got something to say. That's crazy. Declined Tuesday to comment on the New York Times report noting that investigations by Denmark, Germany, and Sweden remain active. Okay, he noted the investigations are open. There is no open investigation into who did this by the United States of America. That's got to be perplexing. Isn't it weird that Denmark wants to know who blew it up? Germany wants to know who blew it up. Sweden wants to know who blew it up. They're conducting investigations. But the one country that usually conducts the most investigations around the world for international things, the United States, they don't have an ongoing investigation into this. Boom! That's yet another flag on this. How many flags do you need? How many flags do you need?
It is.
I gotta smoke again. We'll say it's 5 minutes late for Newfoundland 420, bro.
I need to.
I am ready and waiting for you. I cannot believe I'm reading this. This is like gold, bro. We need to let these investigations conclude, Kirby said. Oh, he did say something. And only then should we be looking at what follow-on actions might
all day.
or may not be
Some
appropriate.
sneaky.
Some sneaky bitch. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov on some sneaky shit. Once they described the Wednesday reports alleging Ukrainian involvement in the Nord Stream explosions as a coordinated manipulation intended to cover up the organizers of the attack. That's from the Kremlin. Coordinated manipulation to cover it up. The masterminds of the terror attack clearly want to distract attention, Peskov said in remarks carried by the IRA Novosti news agency. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his officials have accused the U.S. of staging the pipeline explosions, which they described as a terror attack. So Russia, much like me, thinks that it was the United States that blew up the pipeline. I'm in agreement. See, you could hate somebody or you can really not like something they do. You know, you got a problem with somebody, but, you know, whether you hate or love Russia, do you agree with them that you think the United States did this shit? You know the thing that Biden said he was going to do? Like he was cool and shit?
Yeah,
He's
I
like,
mean,
we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
I don't hate Russian people. I hate the Russian politics and the communism and all that.
I don't
shit,
like the
but I
communism
agree with
either.
you.
I don't like it. I don't like the
I agree
persecution.
with you. All fingers point at United States. I cannot disagree about that.
They're
at
just
all.
trying to...
I'm packed.
Mom, have a good day, a good workout. Have a good day. Oh, have a nice exam. I put water on it. No, it's got a drain at the bottom. So it evaporates. I'll put more. You all right?
No, I'm exhausted already. I'm going to the eye doctor, then I have to go to the office and drop off another paper. And then I'm gonna try and go to Costco, I'm hoping, and do some shopping, and then I'll be home later, okay?
But what time's your appointment?
10:30 in Lake Mary. So I gotta go. Okay?
Mom,
What?
Lake Mary is 15 minutes away.
Honey, I know,
So sit down for 5 or 10 minutes.
I just did. I like to get there early.
Well, then go over there and relax in their waiting room.
I will.
Okay. Just take a deep breath.
I will.
All right. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, Cyber.
Yep.
Cheers, Brap.
Cheers.
And Privet Breton. Dude, you're going to teach me Russian, right? I can't see you. Yane Torch. What's up, buddy? Yeah, no law regarding cannabis, all that stuff. Cheers.
Cheers, bro. Cheers, everybody.
Putin said it was a terror attack. Peskov noted that Russia was denied access to evidence from the investigation. He called for a transparent international probe. The Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipeline have long been a target of criticism by the United States and some of its allies, who warn that they posed a risk to Europe's energy security by increasing dependence on Russian gas. Germany halted certification of the still uncommissioned Nord Stream 2 after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and Moscow stopped the flow of gas in Nord Stream 1 week before the attack. Dutch gas transport and storage company Gasunie said Wednesday it does not expect the sabotaged Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines to come back into service anytime soon, and has written off its multi-million-dollar euro investment in the project. In the current geopolitical context, Gasunie does not foresee a resumption of gas deliveries via Nord Stream for the foreseeable future. This is their quote, and as a result does not expect to receive any more dividends, the company said in an annual report. Gasunie, whose transportation and storage activities serve the Netherlands. Tucker Carlson's team shares news update and video from January 6th. Hey man, we might be changing gears here, guys. Hold on. This is something else. This is something else we're going to be covering, and Hardlens is covering it.
So, an interesting video has come out from the situation that took place on January 6th of the year Biden was inaugurated.
Huh. What is going? Hey, give me a second. Ruggy.
Roger.
Ruggy. Where is he? Ruggy. Ruggy,
Rated.
where are you, buddy?
Now, what I find interesting about January 6th,
that is some seriously buffering going on now. Jesus Christ.
Where's the damn dog? Oh shit. Okay. My mom's. Oh, there he is.
A blast to the past with dial-up modems and shit.
It's Harles, man. Dude, that's hilarious. So, we've got stacked chairs, and they're all leaning. They're folding chairs. Actually, they're not stacked chairs. They're folding chairs.
is that, of course, everyone started.
All these folding chairs are all stacked against each other against the wall, leaning up, right? So they kind of create a tunnel underneath where the legs are. Total protection. The cat has climbed behind there. And Rogan has no access, bro, at all. There's a vacuum cleaner there, so he can't get past the vacuum cleaner. So all he can do is look, and the cat is taunting the fuck out of him. He's sitting there laughing, and he's playing in front of the dog, and he's fucking with the dog, dude. And the dog's getting so pissed. It's fucking hilarious. Rogie, come here, buddy. Come here, bees. Come here, Rogie. Come here, buddy. Were you having fun with Harles? What you doing? He's like, fuck you.
That's funny.
Rogie's all like, fuck you. He ain't even coming in here. He's pissed. Rogie, are you pissed?
You were laughing at him, man. You were just laughing at him.
Fuck, yeah, I was, dude. What do you want me to do? Pull the cat out there and let him kill it?
No.
He knows he can kill that cat anytime he wants to, bro. He has a million chances every day. The cat struts right in front of him, bro. Rogie, you just go like this. Game over. Oh, he's going to sleep. Okay.
Nick Brown. LOL, why you beaslin'?
Why you beaslin', little beaslin'? Beaslin' all day, beaslin' around. Where's my chat? That's the question.
There was some serious buffering going on with that video.
Bro, that's why I paused it.
It reminded me kind of like the good old dial-up days with modems and shit.
I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know. If I refresh the page, it'd be fine. I just didn't think to do that.
Yeah.
Where the hell is
the
chat?
it's probably a cache problem.
You guys, I can hear the chat.
Wow, that sounded...
Bro, I'm
weird,
telling
man.
you, you know,
wow.
that dog is he has so much fun chasing that cat around the house. And the cat just runs away slowly. Because he knows the dog's not going to hurt him, bro. Rogan, are you having fun? You want a cookie, buddy? You want a California cookie? I'm going to get you a cookie. Come here, buddy. I'm going to get you a cookie, buddy. What do you say about that? Come back here. Come back here, bees. Come here, bees. Come here, buddy. Look at this. What is this right here, bud? It's a cookie. Oh, get that. There you go. It's right. What you got, Bezo? He's very aggressive with that food, bro. Here, check this out. Let's see if we can get the Bezel Cam Extreme up here, which would be great.
Oh, hey, Rogie.
Uh-oh, there goes the cat. We got the kitty cat, we got the dog going on, bro. There's so much content going on here. I got this other wild animal right here. Experiencing interruptions? Find out why. No, I know why, YouTube, I'm experiencing interruptions. Because there's something wrong on your end. That's why. And if you're detecting skipping like that, you can reset it. You could have software that could just reset that connection. It would take a split second. We would literally see a flash and then the video would continue. But, you know, your engineers out there seem to think that they know how to reprogram the software to make these videos run better. You know, I don't know what kind of system they're on, but I'm on a fucking badass system. I should be able to run 200 YouTube videos at once on 200 different browsers on my connection.
A huge panic. Everyone was saying that it was an insurrection. It was a rebellion. It was a disaster. The Republic could have been destroyed that day.
It could have been. It was very close. And you know, he claims he's not a right-winger, but this is the right-wing narrative, so this is going to be very interesting. Let me speed him up.
All it was a bunch of drunkard idiots who really didn't know.
What I'm just kind of curious. What about the people who plan to go there? What about the guys who are marching in there in camo with their arms on each other's shoulders as they all walked through the crowd? What about those guys? You know? And then what about the dudes that shattered the windows? What about the guys who smeared their fucking feces on the walls? What about the guy who sat in Nancy Pelosi's desk? What about the girl who was charging the fucking Senate floor door and ended up getting shot? What about all of the people that were screaming and yelling at that doorway? How many people were involved in that?
Brop all day.
What about
full face paint
What
and
about
all.
the people that planned for this? What about the people that incited these people to do what they did? And I don't care whether it was organized or not, because you know, those people they weren't organized on that day, and it's a good thing. But whether a coup is organized or not, a coup is still a coup, and they attempted to overthrow and subvert the government on that day. So the fact that you're denying that, bro, it's a really bad look for you, bro. It's a really bad look. So I just want to take it back, because it's so funny, because I just entered into this with my buddy Jib Monkey on Twitter, and I've been explaining to him, I'm like, you know, we can watch, 1937 Germany. Like my friend Jimbo pointed out to me, you can look at a picture of a photograph of 1930. You can look at Pearl Harbor on the day before Japan bombed it, and say, "Wow, look at how calm Pearl Harbor was." It's irrelevant. To show footage of things not happening is irrelevant. That's not the focus of the investigation. And what's hilarious is Jib Monkey told me he wouldn't watch that footage. I said, well, how can you have an opinion on it if you refuse to at least watch? I watched all the hearings. I listened and I watched the footage, and there was a lot. You're in denial. This guy right here is in denial. I mean, he might have a great beard and look good with a mustache. I'll give him credit for that. It's a good look for him. He's doing it good. He's doing it better than I could. At the same time, hey, bro, he kind of reminds me of my friend Terrace. Whatever happened to Terrace, man? He would love this conversation right now. He's probably listening. Terrace, I know you're listening. Anyway, let's listen again to Kit Cabello try to explain his way out of it not being an insurrection on January 6th.
Of the year Biden was inaugurated. Now, what I find interesting about January 6th is that, of course, everyone started to have a huge panic. Everyone was saying that it was an insurrection. It was a rebellion. It was a disaster. The republic could have been destroyed that day. All it was a bunch of drunkard idiots who really didn't know their wazoo from a hole in the ground. And I'm being polite here with that. Now, I always found it interesting that that event has been blown out of proportions. And there's been many videos in regards towards what happened on January 6th. The Vote Blue No Matter Who crowd is using that as political ammunition to stop Trump. But an interesting segment took place on Tucker Carlson's show. Now, of course, there's the Fox News bias, and we have to acknowledge that Fox News, just like BSDNC and CNN and every other media outlet,
market's going back
all
up.
has their biases. However, now there is contradictory video showing something else taking place there. Now, I always felt that January 6th was used by the establishment, the Democrats, House progressives, as a way to focus on a nothing burger. Because at the end of the day, Biden, hey, YouTube, Biden was inaugurated as president, YouTube. I am saying that Biden is president, YouTube. I'll never forget what you jagoffs did to us in 2020.
Wow.
Destroying all.
So
Billy
he's
Ballantyne.
an election denier as well.
I think he looks like old Jeff Gyllenhaal with Lemmy Kilmister's nose.
What's up, Billy?
Morning.
You want to hear something hilarious? I can't find the chat. And I hear it, but I don't know where it is. Isn't that funny?
But you are right. In principle, it doesn't really matter if it is a bunch of fucking drunken idiots who try to make a coup. If they try to make a coup, they try to make a coup, and that's all that matters. I mean,
I found the chat, everybody.
It's the intentions, right?
Right. I mean, they were saying hang Mike Pence. They were chanting that. That seemed pretty organized to me. They brought a guillotine.
I don't know much about it. Yeah, I admit I don't know much about it, and especially I'm an outsider. I'm not American and all. But I would definitely classify it as a coup. I mean, and that doesn't matter who does it, if they're drunk, if they're idiots, if they're naked, what the fuck they do. It's the intention that matter in the end. That's how I see it. Anyway.
I covered the January 6th insurrection on this show. We covered it live on this show. My main channel got the video taken down, but it exists on other channels. I mean, I think all my YouTube channels got it taken down, but it's on all my Facebook channels. So if you go to Facebook and you go to January 6th, you can watch the whole thing from my show. You can see my reaction to it as it was happening in real time. And that was enough for me. But I went ahead and I watched the January 6 hearings, and I'm glad I did because there was so much more data and information. They had witnesses and more footage and everything that I needed to see to feel comfortable that, you know, I was correct in my assumption that these people are psychotic. And, you know, and this guy, Kit Cabello, he's one of them. He's an election denier. He's like, man, is he a cue ball too? He's a freaking election denier. There he is calling himself a left-winger, freaking progressive, independent, whatever he wants to call. I don't know what he calls himself. And he's saying that wow, he's trying to cover for himself.
All the hard work that we did, YouTube. Love you for your not having any kind of integrity, YouTube, but there you go. So let's play this video of Tucker Carlson addressing new footage that happened on January 6th. I want to give a shout out to constituent 808 constituent 808.
So I watched a portion of this, guys.
Up. Thank you so
not
you so
from
much
Kate
for
Cabello's
this, tweet
coverage, but I watched it on Twitter.
And
I watched Tucker Carlson on Twitter.
So let's play this video of Tucker addressing January 6th. And yes, I will be pausing in time to address some of the Fox News biases, because Fox News, just like every other corporate media outlet, has its perspective and bias.
Yeah, you've got bias too, bro. You're an election denier, bro. You've got bias too.
One more thing. Virtually no one in Washington, Republican or Democrat, certainly not in the news media, wanted to see...
Hold please. The woman who does the she's the spokesperson. She's an LGBTQ. I forgot how to say it. Anyway.
All those letters, man.
Yeah, I forgot how to say it. I'm sorry. So, because I'm high and my brain's not working right. But she's.
I did the same thing.
She is a representative of that community, and the reason I say that is because, the other day we were watching her, and I said she's actually looks really nice today. So I just want to compliment her on how she looks. Remember that? Here, White House. Yeah. White House. It's called the White House press conference briefing, right? Okay, so this is March 6th. This might be the last one. Oh, shit. It's long as hell. I don't know where, they're usually not this long. Wow. I can't get this one to play. I'm having such issues playing YouTube videos.
I had that earlier today also.
I'm doing a speed
earlier
test
today I had to restart my whole browser.
Oh,
I'm not
dude.
sure, Justin, you
my
are
download is 200 megabytes. It's downloading 200 megs right now, bro.
I just watched the Tucker take on
472.
Things. Morning, Nick.
I just scored 472 megs, bro. There's no way this is my problem. And 35 megs upload on my score. 472 download. That's half a gig. Almost. That's half a gig. 472, bro. I'm rocking a download. So, yeah, what's going on with YouTube, man? They're getting hacked. I think YouTube's getting hacked, guys. They're probably under attack right now. That's why none of these videos will play. This is crazy.
Because earlier today I tried to watch the video, and when I clicked it and went full screen, I just had a black screen. Then I opened up another video that didn't start playing at all. Then I restarted my browser and all was fine. But that usually don't happen, and I know it's not my system. It's not. It's literally not.
This one shows footage, but then when it plays, it just says, "We will begin shortly" on the screen. That is so weird. Dude, why did they do that? What is going on? comments are turned off. Thumbs down, dude. I can't see this shit.
Yeah, it's definitely not my end either.
Okay, wait, it's fixed now, I think. Wait, no. It just says we will begin. This is the weirdest thing of all time, bro, this video. Maybe I'll open it up in another browser. Here we go.
A bit up. A 420.
It's the same thing. Dude, how is this possible? Look.
Billy Ballantyne. Same happens with you and Twitter vids. Your up and down don't measure the health of your processors or video card. Open Windows Control Panel, click System and Security, and then click Device Mana. Open the Display Adapters section, double-click on the name of your AFIX card, and then look for whatever information is under Device Status. This area will typically say, this device is working properly. If it does not, it's your system. If it does, it's them.
Oh yeah, it's working properly. It's always says
Doom
that.
Chaser 1. The biggest news today that I seen was Mexico applying to join BRICS.
You guys, I just gave you a link to a video. Now, when you... I'm going to show you this on screen. On screen, Sulu. Put it on screen. For some reason.
Oh, I can go. I can play it. It runs. It's yeah, press briefing by press secretary. Yeah, I can see it. It's playing.
That's funny. So anywhere I click, it says we will begin shortly.
Oh, mine's playing.
And I refreshed it.
All of you know
there it is.
what he was going to do and how he was going to move forward. That's it. He wanted to make sure that he delivered for the 700,000 residents of D.C. In a way that was protecting the residents here. This was brought to him. This is not something that we put forward. This is a decision that was brought to him, and he wanted to be very clear and communicate with the people of D.C. and with all of you and how he was going to move forward.
One more legislative question. There's a resolution going forward allowing that would bar retirement plans from offering ESG considerations. The president says or the White House says he's going to veto that. Do you have any plans for that veto?
I don't have anything to share on that. I believe we have not received the bill yet, so just don't have any timeline on the ESG bill at this time. All right.
So,
thank you. A couple questions about East Palestine, Ohio. Norfolk Southern, they announced this.
At one point, she says, I don't know why I can't see the rest of this. You see how the circle, I get that circle, then it disappears, and then all I get is we will begin. Even though if you look at the bottom of the screen, right, you'll see that there's video. And like Cyber said, there's video there. But when I click on it, we will begin shortly. Until I get to some point.
Let's have a response to.
Wait, let me turn this off.
Oh, my videos start like that also. The first 15 seconds, I don't know how many seconds, but it starts saying like that, but the timer counts. The timer counts.
Oh, look, at 33:47, it seems to be starting. So I'm going to get to see the whole press conference. So this is good because at some point in this press conference, she's going to make the comment that countries that go around and impose, their will on other countries, that needs to stop right now. And it's so hypocritical. And I want to catch that moment and make a video out of it. I've already got an idea for it. So I'm going to go in speed, and we're going to go super fast here. And this, I cannot see anymore. Oh, there she is. Great.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday.
Treasure Coast Waters.
So I think many of us would agree that parents should not have to pay
Paish.
extra to sit next to their child on a flight. It's just common sense. But as recently as a month ago, no U.S. airlines guaranteed fee-free family seating. Now, after the Biden administration pressed airlines to improve customer service, American Airlines, Alaska Airlines, and Frontier Airlines have stepped forward to guarantee that parents can sit with their young children without getting nickel and dimed. Today, the Department of Transportation rolled out a new family seating dashboard, as you'll see right here, highlighting which airlines guarantee fee-free family seating and those that don't. This is an added feature to the existing dashboard, which already includes services for delayed and canceled flights. The dashboard makes it easier for parents to avoid these junk fees, and we're not stopping there. DOT is working towards making this a requirement across the board. This is just the latest example of effective presidential leadership driving actions that benefit American consumers, workers, and families. President Biden is leading, Americans are supportive, and corporations are responding, as you can see. Also today, the Department of Agriculture is taking a number of actions to support American farmers and ranchers, increase transparency, and lower food prices. Let's start with Product of USA labels. Currently, this label on meat, poultry, egg products can be used even if the product was not actually raised in the USA. We believe that labels should be only used on animals born, raised, and processed here in the United States, and now USDA is proposing a rule to accomplish
that. She said in the beginning with parents could sit beside the children in planes. What the fuck is that about? I know it has nothing to do with what you want to talk about.
There was a policy where they were not allowed, they were just seating people in seats, I guess, or something, and they want to make sure that they can't separate families now. So they want to pass legislation that will force the airlines to do this, to impose this policy on their flights.
Roger that. I mean, it makes no sense to split a child up from the parents.
Exactly. You just, the tickets should all.
Sorry about.
No, that's cool. The tickets should be together. You should be able to get those tickets together, and you shouldn't have to worry about it when you're arriving. But parents, they should show up early, before they start boarding at least, and say, hey, I want to make sure, I'm seated with my kids.
Accomplish just that. This increased transparency will support American farmers and ranchers and make it easier for all of us know where our food really comes from. Second, the USDA is announcing $89 million in new investment to help establish and expand independent meat processors. This will create opportunities for small businesses in rural communities and create fairer markets for family farmers, which brings down prices at the grocery store. And lastly, USDA is taking action to increase competition and innovation in important seed markets like corn. These actions show the administration's commitment to promoting competition for farmers, ranchers, and American consumers, and deliver on the President's competition executive order. With that, Chris, you want to kick us off, please?
Sure. Two questions on the DC crime situation. Does the White House have a response to City Council wanting to pull back that proposal?
So as you all know, we litigated this about 2 days last week right here in this very room. The President expressed concerns on certain provisions of the DC crime bill, and as we can see, the DC Council's process is still ongoing, so we won't comment on that any further.
So also when we were discussing this last week, you said Mayor Bowser's opposition to the crime proposal, but she also says that the override is indignity and Congress is meddling in its affairs. Why didn't the President or the White House give her a heads up that the President wanted to sign this override legislation?
She also said that she understands why the President made this decision, but wait, let me get into it. But you just asked the question. Let me finish your question, the first question that you asked, which is, first of all, she also said that she understood why the President made the decision. Our team, the Intergovernmental Affairs team, is in constant communication with her team and was last week. Don't have anything to preview or any specific discussion that occurred, but they are in constant communication.
Okay, so the question is, why didn't the White House or the President give Mayor Bowser a heads up?
I just told you that they're in constant communication with the team, including last week. Okay, I'm just not going to get into specific, but I can tell you that our Intergovernmental Affairs office was in contact with her office last week.
Okay, that doesn't exactly address the question.
I'm just telling you that we were in contact.
Why, if the White House cites Mayor Bowser's opposition bill, why do they want to do something she considers an indignity for her city?
Say that again.
If the White House is going to cite Mayor Bowser's opposition to the crime bill, you say why the President should sign the override legislation. Why does the White House do something the Mayor considers an indignity for the city?
She also did not approve of the piece of the legislation as well.
So the process by override, she says, is an indignity.
So let's step back for a second. We talked about this for 2 days last week, and I'm still going to tell you exactly what I said last week, which is the President, the bill was headed to the President's desk, and the President made a decision, and we let all of you know what he was going to do and how he was going to move forward. That's it. He wanted to make sure that he delivered for the 700,000 residents of DC in a way that was protecting the residents here. This was brought to him. This is not something that we put forward. This is a decision that was brought to him, and he wanted to be very clear and communicate with the people of DC and with all of you and how he was going to move forward.
One more legislative question. The resolution going forward allowing that would bar retirement plans from offering ESG considerations. The President says he's the White House is going to veto that. Do you have any plans for that veto?
I don't have anything to share on that. I believe we have not received the bill yet, so just don't have any timeline on the ESG bill at this time. All right.
Thank you. A couple questions about East Palestine, Ohio. Norfolk Southern, they announced a set of new initiatives they claim will enhance safety, a new power mechanism to help with braking and acceleration, additional devices that can monitor hot bearings. Is the White House satisfied with these reforms? Look,
what we're trying to do, and we've been very clear, the EPA Administrator has been very clear, Secretary Buttigieg has been very clear, what we're doing is to make sure that the community of East Palestine is made whole again, and we're going to hold Norfolk Suffolk Company accountable. They made this mess, and they need to clean up this mess. We are pleased by the bipartisanship that we're currently seeing in Congress to put forward some true common sense safety measures. That is something that we want to continue to move forward. As far as it relates to the company, we are going to do everything that we can to hold them accountable. As you know, we set up a fund to support the families and to support the community getting back economically on their feet in the future. So that is going to be our focus, and that's how we're going to move forward.
You say you want to hold them accountable. Norfolk Southern, they're responsible now for 4 train derailments in less than 5 months. Is the administration comfortable with them taking the lead on self-regulation?
So look, it's notable and
I'm slowing
unacceptable.
this
That's what
down.
we've been very clear about that.
Jim
That is why the
Chaser won.
DTSB is doing an investigation that is currently happening.
When both
That is something that
sides
occurred
are
with the
so
first derailment we saw
corrupted,
within hours. Secretary
we
Buttigieg
will in a
go into
Hitler-type
action and
mega
respond,
movement.
making sure that the investigation started. The same thing on
FBI blocked
Saturday.
a
The
socialist
investigation
movement.
has been
So
for
Bernie was
NTSB
always
was just
doomed to fail.
was just called to move forward this morning, and so that's what we're going to see. We're going to have an investigation. We're going to see exactly what occurred. But in the meantime, we got to hold them accountable to make sure the community is
Treasure
made whole
Coast
again.
waters.
Plans for President Biden to visit East Coast?
I
It's
don't have anything to
perfect
share on a
name.
planned visit for the president to Ohio. Okay.
Thank you, Karine. Speaker McCarthy is planning to meet with the leader of Taiwan in California. Does the White House have a reaction to that, and are you advising him at all ahead of that meeting?
So I don't believe Taiwan has announced any travel for the president of Taiwan. Taiwan's presidents have traveled to the United States in the past, so I would refer you to Taiwan for anything specific on that. And certainly I would refer you to the Speaker's office on any potential meeting that he may be having with the president. I just don't, from what I understand, no announcement has been made.
Preference that a meeting like that would take place in California as opposed to Taiwan to avoid...
Again, I'm just not going to comment on something. No, I totally hear your question, Jeff. It's just not something that I'm going to comment on since it doesn't seem like it has been announced at this time or any travel has been put forward.
One other topic. Former President Trump said over the weekend in his CPAC comments multiple things. One thing he said to his supporters was, "I am your justice, and for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution." Does the White House have a response to that?
As you know, because
Treasure
of
Coast waters.
he is a 2024 candidate, and we
Refer
are covered
to
here by the
Tulane
hashtag. I'm
Buddy.
just not going to comment on those. On those
Treasure
words that he,
Coast
this weekend.
waters.
Just want to follow up on
LOL.
something one of my colleagues asked about last week. There were protests this weekend in Iran related to poisoning of the alleged poisoning of the schoolgirls there. If the administration has any updates in terms of what they've seen or any investigations that may be underway at this point in time.
So, as you know, Phil, we are closely following this deeply concerning situation that we're seeing currently in Iran. The continued poisoning of schoolgirls across Iran is unconscionable. There must be a credible, independent investigation, accountability for those responsible. If these poisonings are related to participation in protests, then it is well within mandate of the UN's independent international fact-finding mission on Iran to investigate. Women and girls everywhere have a fundamental right to education. Time and time again, it has been demonstrated that when women and girls receive an education and are able to contribute to their economies, it benefits society as a whole. So the possibility that girls in Iran are being possibly poisoned simply for trying to get an education is shameful, is unacceptable, and our thoughts remain with the victims and their families. And again, it is unacceptable and unconscionable.
Just from where there were reports over the weekend that there are 2 Ukrainian fighter pilots that are in the United States right now training on simulators. Wondering if we're supposed to read that as...
To education. Time and time again, it has been demonstrated that when women and girls receive an education and are able to contribute to their economies, it benefits society as a whole. So the possibility that girls in Iran are being possibly poisoned simply for trying to get an education is shameful, is unacceptable, and our thoughts remain with the victims and their families. And again, it is unacceptable and unconscionable.
Just from where there were reports over the weekend that there are 2 Ukrainian fighter pilots that are in the United States right now training on simulators. Wondering if we're supposed to read that as the potential for new capabilities the U.S. may send, or come with the genesis of that decision making.
So, look, the president has already spoken to F-16s, as you all know, and nothing has changed. For what the president said is it is not on the table for now, and so that hasn't changed. So I'll leave that there.
Can you speak to the incident involving 4 U.S. citizens in Mexico who have come under gunfire and have been kidnapped?
This might be it.
How the administration may be able to get information out of Mexico, or what the status of that is right now?
So I have a statement here that I want to read out to all of you. We are closely following the assault and kidnapping of 4 U.S. citizens in Matamoros, Mexico. These sorts of attacks are unacceptable. Our thoughts are with the families of these individuals, and we stand ready to provide all appropriate consular assistance. U.S. law enforcement is in touch with Mexican law enforcement. The Departments of State and Homeland Security are also coordinating with Mexican authorities, and we will continue to coordinate with Mexico and push them to bring those responsible to justice. And again, our hearts are with the families.
Any early indications as to the circumstances or any efforts to try to locate these Americans?
Don't have anything to share outside of what I just laid out. Clearly, we want to be really careful here. There are privacy concerns, and so I don't want to share too much about the information on how we're moving forward or even the individuals. We just want to be really mindful on that. But clearly, we're on top of this.
Thanks, Karine. Does the president have a meeting scheduled yet for him to sit down with Speaker Kevin McCarthy about budget or the debt?
So right now, we don't have a meeting to preview or scheduled right now at this time. I've said this before. Their team and our team have been in constant communication since the first time that they met. Just don't have anything to preview. As you know, the president's going to be putting forward his budget on March 9th, and we have called on Republicans in the House to do the same, to be transparent, to lay out exactly what it is that how they want to move forward with the fiscal year. One of the things that we have heard from them is how they want to continue, want to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and ACA. And so we want to see what is it that they want to do. How do they see moving forward in a fiscally responsible way? As we know, the president has been very clear. He's going to continue to fight for Social Security. He's going to continue to fight for Medicare, Medicaid, and ACA. Again, we want to see. We're going to put our budget forward. We want to see what they're going to do.
But no timeline on when that
Don't
sit
have
down might take place.
Treasure Coast waters.
For this week, we don't have anything right now.
Hi,
scheduled
Nate,
at this
LOL.
And Originally, the Treasury Secretary said that she could keep extraordinary measures going through June. Then the CBO later said, actually, it might be July through September. When does the White House believe that things get critical as it relates to the U.S. debt?
We basically follow what the Department of Treasury said. The Secretary said through June, and that's the timeline that we're looking at.
We're reporting today that the manufacturing sector is showing signs of weakness. Obviously, manufacturing jobs are a priority for your administration. Are you concerned at all that momentum is slipping there? That could be to do with higher interest rates?
Look, we're going to continue to make sure that we deliver on the president's economic plan. And having more than 700,000 jobs that have been created under this president shows that commitment and shows how the president's economic policy is working. Look, that's why this Chips and Science Act is so important. And you've heard over and over from these different manufacturers who are coming back to the U.S., who are building these manufacturers, creating jobs. And so we're going to continue to work closely with them and make that a priority. That doesn't stop. I don't have any concerns right now to share with you, but we are, again, close to 800,000 jobs have been created under this administration, manufacturing jobs, and that is a commitment that this president has had to make sure that we're bringing manufacturers back to the U.S.
You said last week you check on the license plate on the Beast, whether it says this taxation without representation.
Oh my gosh!
Any update on that?
My homework is not on par today. We have checked in, just haven't gotten an answer on that just yet, and so we are diving in and trying to get an answer to all of you.
Josh G.
On local matters, the D.C. Council Chair said today that he thought he had the power to rescind the Senate bill to the Senate for its review. Was there any communication between the White House and Council Chairman Mendel's office prior to his press conference?
So our team was.
Billy Ballantyne. That made no sense. Iran is a Muslim country. Their Quran says it's women's divine will to go to school. It's their religious duty. There's no motive to poison girls for learning in Iran. Treasure Coast Waters. Yes, she's fast, LOL.
Made aware earlier this morning, as you know, when it comes to how the Senate, the mechanics of the Senate move forward, that's something for the Senate. I encourage you to ask them and how that will work.
Treasure
and how that will
Coast
move forward.
Waters.
But yes, we were given a
nice Billy.
The Senate intends to move forward with its vote on the resolution to disapprove. The president still intends to sign it. Is that right?
If look again, we've made ourselves very clear. If the bill comes to the president's desk, he will sign it.
One other question on this. I don't think you've been asked this directly before, but last week you said that the president viewed what the D.C. Council did as unacceptable. You specifically talked about how the bill would reduce penalties for armed carjacking, and you didn't mention sexual assault. So the question is why the president would still support D.C. statehood. If the council is going to pass bills that the president finds unacceptable, why would the president empower the council to have power of the state legislature that he couldn't check?
Because he believes, and he has for some time now, that D.C. should be a 51 state. They should have a statehood.
Treasure Coast Waters.
Again, the reason why the president, we responded to this and answered the question of if he was going to sign it or not is because it was coming to his desk, as we know from last week. And so the president communicated that, we communicated that, but it doesn't change that he encourages Congress to pass a bill that makes D.C. a state, and he will sign it. He believes that cities and states should be able to govern for themselves.
Last one in this. Advocates of D.C. statehood say that what has happened here in this episode is the effort has been set back significantly. That essentially what the president has done is he's given juice to opponents of statehood, and statehood opponents say that this episode has proven them right, that the D.C. government should not be self-governing without Congress's involvement.
Well, we disagree, right? We believe D.C. should be a statehood. I mean, we've been very clear. The president has been very clear. Again, D.C. is not a state. It's not a city. The reason why this bill is coming before the president is because that is the case, right? It's not a state. It's not a city. So doesn't mean that it stops our support for their statehood. Doesn't mean that the president has changed his mind on that. We still support that and want to see that happen. And we're going to continue to encourage Congress to move in that way.
One of the banks that's having some issues right now called Silvergate. I'm wondering if you guys are monitoring that. On Friday, they shut its crypto-focused payments network, Silvergate Capital. They said a filing last week that they may have to evaluate their viability after $1 billion lost in the fourth quarter.
Binance skyrocketed, everybody.
Doing to monitor that, is checking in, that sort of thing.
Check it out.
So we are aware of the situation and monitoring the reports. I won't comment on Silvergate specifically, but it is obviously only the latest company in the cryptocurrency field to experience significant issues. In recent weeks, banking regulators have released guidelines on how banks should protect themselves from risks associated with crypto. As you know, this is a president that has repeatedly called on Congress to take action to protect everyday Americans from the risk posted by digital assets, and he will continue to do so. So we won't speak to this particular company, as we have not on other cryptocurrency companies, but we're going to continue monitoring the reports.
Save us from ourselves, Fed,
please. On the Fed chair searches, Fed vice chair search, is there any update you can give us? In particular, Senator Warren is a critic of Chairman Powell and has called on the administration to appoint a vice chair that is effectively a counterweight to Chairman Powell in decisions on interest rate hikes. Do you have a view on that? Are you, in essence, trying to counterweight the chairman in this process? And where is the process at right now?
I'm certainly not going to get ahead of the president's process or lay out what he's thinking or how that process is going to move forward. What I can say is this is a priority for this president. I don't have anything to preview on any specific candidates or announcements, but clearly we'll have something in the near future.
I wonder if you could comment on some efforts in Republican states like Florida and Texas where they're cracking down on undocumented immigrants. In the Florida legislature, there's a proposed bill that looks at requiring private companies to do more to check the immigration status of their employees. In Texas, there are lawmakers considering a bill that would deny undocumented children access to public education. Does the White House have any comment on these efforts?
So I haven't seen these bills. What I can say is, and as you know, on the first day of this president's presidency and his tenure, first day of his tenure, he said very, very clearly that he took immigration reform very seriously, and he showed that by action, by putting forward a piece of legislation that was comprehensive, that dealt with the immigration issue that we have seen in this country for some time in a real way, and he asked Congress to take action as well. And so I can speak to that. I can speak to how the president wants to move forward in a way that we're protecting our border in a secure way, which is why he's taken actions, whether it's the parolee program, whether it's putting 24,000 federal agents on the ground and making sure that we're doing this in a safe and humane way. And so that's what I can speak to. That's the way the president wants to move forward, and I'll just leave it there.
This bill says that they would deny undocumented children access to public education unless the federal government pays for it. If this moves forward in Texas, is this something that the administration would consider?
I'm not going to get ahead. I haven't seen that piece of legislation. Haven't talked to our team. I'm just not going to get ahead of any state local legislation. What I can tell you is what the president has put forward and what he has, how he sees this process moving forward on the federal level is coming together with Congress coming together with us, Republicans, actually taking real action and not doing political stunts, because that's what we see in these states is continued political stunts and not really dealing with an issue that they can. If we came in a bipartisan way, we can actually deal with the immigration concerns in this country. But they refuse to do that.
Billy Valentine.
I'd like to follow up on the issue about the
You shouldn't have that many apes at once until puberty.
What was his reaction? You can say anything about that.
I can tell you the president is aware and has been informed.
Ambassador Salazar is meeting today with President López Obrador in Mexico. What message does the administration want to convey, or what is the priority for that meeting?
Well, you know, the president went to Mexico most recently for the summit, met with the Mexican president and also the Prime Minister Trudeau, and they laid out their commitment to work together on issues that matter to the region, whether it's immigration, whether it's national security, and I think that summit sent a very loud message to the people of Mexico, to the people of the United States, and also Canada. As you know, just to take a step further, the president is going to be meeting with the Prime Minister later this month to continue more of that conversation that they had. I don't have anything to preview or to lay out about the meeting that Salazar is having with the President of Mexico, but we see Mexico as a close ally, an important partnership that we have in the region, and clearly want to continue it to grow.
Thanks. Looking ahead to next month, April is the end of continuous enrollment for Medicaid. How concerned is the White House about these millions of Americans that could lose health insurance?
Well, that is something that is a concern to the White House, which is why we have continued to work to make sure that health care is affordable for Americans. You've seen us do that with Inflation Reduction Act. You've seen us do that with other policies coming out of the administration. We will clearly, you'll see the president's budget on March 9th that will speak to some of this. Don't want to get ahead of what the president's going to lay out in his fiscal year budget, and so I'll just leave it there.
The president has said that his plan on the budget would reduce the deficit by $2 trillion over the next decade.
Look at that hair!
How did the administration land on that number of $2 trillion? And then, does that mean that the president does believe the current path of growth in the national debt is hurting the economy? Trying to gauge his concern level around the growth of debt, given that we've heard about that $2 trillion number.
So what I'll say is the president understands his fiscal responsibility. He understands how important it is to lower the deficit, which is why he was able to do that the first 2 years by $2.7 trillion. And so by him saying that he's going to do that by $1 trillion over the next 10 years, continues to show that commitment. And so that is incredibly important. And we have said, if Republicans want to have a real conversation about how to lower the debt, then he's ready to listen. He's ready to hear what they have to say. That's why we have said we're going to put our budget forward on March 9th, and we're waiting to see what they're going to do.
He looks like a makeup applicator.
To add $3 trillion as you think about them giving tax breaks or giveaways to millionaires and the rich and the wealthy as they talk about trying to Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, ACA. That's what they're bringing. And we're saying, you know what, we're going to protect those really important programs, and we're going to put forward, he's going to put forward a fiscal
so does
budget.
she, bro.
I'll say a little bit more about
makeup
this week.
applicators,
He's going to deliver remarks from Pennsylvania,
just more like
and he's going to show his plans to invest in America, continue lowering costs for families, protect and strengthen Social Security, Medicare, reduce the deficit, and more, as you just asked that question. And so you can expect to hear more from us in the days leading up to Thursday. We'll have additional information of some of those pieces as we head into Thursday.
Quickly, some of the reasoning for traveling for the budget rollout. Going to Pennsylvania for this, obviously that's an important state when it comes to a forthcoming election. Why travel to?
So I'm not going to get into elections, but as you know, the president is Pennsylvania is very close to his heart. He sees that as his second home, and so we believe when we go out there and travel and go to places like Pennsylvania and other states, it's an opportunity for the president to talk directly to the American people. This is important, right? When you think about the fiscal year budget, you think about how the president's going to lay out his plan for the American people. He thinks it's important to do that and make sure that that he talks directly to the people, to the American people out there, and that's what you're going to see him do. And so he'll just happen to be doing it in Pennsylvania, a place that we travel to a lot, as you all know. Those who travel with us. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, thanks. I want to ask you about energy policy. So if the president had allowed the Keystone Pipeline, the Keystone XL, to go forward, it would have been operating today or very close to being turned on today. Any regrets about canceling that project, and any consideration of reversing any energy policies for a more balanced approach going forward?
So look, the president has been very clear about how he's approaching the energy space. He does it in a way that is responsible. He does it in a way that delivers for the American people. There's nothing new here. The decision that he's made, at the same time, having one of the most important historical climate, when it comes to climate change investments and policies. That is not going to change on how the president moves forward here. It is when he walked into the administration, he talked about how climate change was one of the important crises that we needed to address, and that's what you've seen from this president the last 2 years, and that's not, his decisions are not going to change that.
But even with there was a leaked memo that showed that energy, if we had charged less for certain drilling oil permits or royalties in a part of Alaska, then there'd be more energy security.
So I'm not going to speak to leaked memos from here. That is not something that I'm going to do. I believe the leaked memos from the Department of Interior that you're speaking to, just not going to do that. I encourage you to reach out to the Department of Interior. Way in the back. Way in the back.
Thank you.
Well, the person behind you. Yes. Someone new. Someone new.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Tori with Spectrum News, by the way. Thank you so much.
Sure.
On the note of the budget proposal, this is happening. He's unleashing or unveiling this proposal under the shadow of the debt ceiling. And, you know, since February was the last time, according to House Speaker McCarthy, the president sat down with the speaker to talk about some type of deal. McCarthy says he rejects, you know, a clean increase without some concessions or spending cuts. Is the president going to come back to the table with McCarthy to talk about it? What's the plan here?
He never came to the table to negotiate on the debt ceiling. That was not something that occurred. That is not something that's happening. We've been very clear. We're not negotiating around the debt ceiling. This is something that Congress needs to do. It is their constitutional duty. It is something that has happened 78 times since 1960. It is something that happens in a bipartisan way. They should not put the full faith and credit of this country hostage. Should not keep that hostage. And so this is something that we believe that should happen without conditions. And so that's how we've been moving forward. We've been very, very clear about that. I just talked to one of your colleagues about the thing that we are happy to talk about is how to lower the deficit. We are happy to have, the president would look forward to having a conversation, a real conversation with House Republicans on how to do that, because he has been successful in doing that. $1.7 trillion the first 2 years, and he'll share more with his budget on March 9th.
No, it's been sounding that much. He says we're about 3 or 4 months away from, you know, true disaster here. Is that not at all concerning that, you know, there can't be some deal?
Yeah, and that should be concerning to House Republicans. It should be, because this is something that has been done, again, multiple times over the last several decades, and this is something that is their constitutional duty to do, is to lift the debt ceiling. And it's been done in a bipartisan way. They did it three times under the last administration.
They're addicted to spending.
Wow, James.
I'm going to take that because I have two.
First of all, Taiwanese president, how does the White House feel about her proposed visit to the U.S.? What outcomes do you hope to see from it? And will any administration officials be meeting with her?
Right now, there's no planned travel, so I'm not going to speak to a travel that has not been planned. And as stated earlier, it wouldn't be the first time that a Taiwanese president has traveled to the U.S. But I'm just not going to speak to a travel that has not been locked in yet.
He has a second question about the International Women of Courage Awards. You're giving an honorary award to the women and girls of Iran. Who's going to be accepting that on their behalf? And what sort of message does it send if they can't be here, they can't participate?
She's so stupid,
what is the point of doing
She's
this?
literally
Well, we think it's
waiting
incredibly
for
important to do this.
Republicans
First
to
of all,
tell them how
one
to
of the
save
reasons that we're
money
doing
is
here
what
at the
she
White House
said.
is we wanted to bring those stories
Billy
of these
Bong
incredible women
Thornton.
to the White House, to a bigger
Look
stage,
at all
right? To the
those
biggest
Peter
stage that we
Puffers
could.
in
And we're
that
doing it right
room.
here at the White House, which we think is incredibly important for women around the world, but also women here and young girls here to hear the stories of these incredible individuals. Girls everywhere need to know that there are women who are fighting for them, transforming their communities and building a better world for all of us. And so we think it's critical. We think it's important. We think it needs to be seen. And we are really thrilled to see this on Wednesday. Don't have anything more to share. We'll have more to preview in the next day or two.
Thanks, Rick. Just to circle back on something you said earlier about DC, you said DC, it's not a state, it's not a city. What did you mean?
Meaning that what I'm trying to say is it's not a statehood, it doesn't have statehood, right? And I've said this before, said it last week, nothing new. I'm not saying anything that's new here. And because it's not a statehood, right, the president had to make a decision. This bill was brought because this bill was about to be taken to his desk. And that's the only reason this is happening. And so again, the president's going to continue to support DC statehood so that we can see it govern for itself. That's what he believes. He believes that cities and states across the country should be able to govern on its own.
Can you just give us, I know this was a decision made last week, but obviously affects hundreds of thousands of people here in the district.
700,000 people, yeah.
What was there a policy process around this decision? When did the president know about it? Did he speak with the mayor himself? Were there any sort of conversations, or how did he come to this decision?
So I don't have a timeline to lay out for you on the process and how it occurred. I don't have a conversation to preview for you with the mayor. As I mentioned before, our offices here, not just Intergovernmental Affairs, but other White House offices are in regular touch with the mayor and her office and her staff, but just don't have anything to lay out. But look, the president knew he had to make a decision. He had conversations with his team, and he made that decision. In the back.
Following up on that, there's another DC Council disapproval resolution that is pending related to non-citizens voting in local elections. Is there an update on the president's position, something more definitive on whether he would sign that bill?
So I can tell you, and I was asked this last week, the president does not support allowing non-citizens to vote in federal elections. That we've been clear about that from here. As it relates to that particular vote or that particular bill, I don't have any updates from here to share with you on that, and we'll update you as soon as if we have anything, if that changes.
Thank you. I have a question about the Willow Project in Alaska. What's more important to President Biden, improving energy security or reducing fossil fuels?
So first of all, it doesn't have to be one or the other. Right? We can try to be
In
both.
2019, I guarantee you we are going to end fossil fuel, so this project would just be dead, right?
So here's what I can say about that. The president did meet with the Alaska delegation last week at the White House. He always appreciates me speaking and meeting with the full delegation, understand what their concerns are. So I'll leave it there. And when it comes to that specific decision, that's something that the Secretary of Interior is going to make. So I'm not going to get ahead of where she's going to be. But the president has met with the delegation, and I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay, and another subject.
Treasure
How worried should
Coast
Americans be
Waters.
about China spying on them?
Cheers, giant dubber, animal cookies, trendies, PSH.
This might be when she responds what I'm looking for all this time, guys.
Here at home.
And what do you mean specifically, Peter?
Well, there were the Chinese spy balloons, and now there are these Chinese spy cranes. The Wall Street Journal is comparing them to Trojan horses in use at 80% of U.S. ports.
So let me first say that what the American people could be assured of is that this president is going to protect them and making sure that we put our national security first when it comes to anything that they feel could threaten that. And the president has shown that. He's shown that over and over again. So on the cranes, don't have any comment on that specific reporting. I would refer you to the Department of Transportation and the Department of Defense, who've been tasked with Congress to study this particular issue. The National Security Council, in close coordination with the Department of Homeland Security and Department of Defense, Coast Guard, and members of the Intelligence Committee, have been actively working to address potential cyber vulnerabilities across the marine transportation system. This includes enhanced coordination across the federal government and engagement with key stakeholders in the maritime industry. And just last month, the administration issued a worldwide maritime port vulnerabilities advisory underscoring the potential threats posed by foreign manufactured port equipment. So again, this is something that the president takes very seriously, and will always take action to make sure we protect our national security.
And if this is a Department of Transportation lead, does Secretary Buttigieg have experience?
It's not just the Department of Transportation; it's also the Department of Defense.
Thanks, Green. Has the president had a chance to look at the Parents' Bill of Rights bill that's being proposed by some House Republicans?
I can't speak to what the president has reviewed or not reviewed at this time. Okay, go ahead.
Last week, the Department of Justice acknowledged that in 2020, they'd used the FBI had used 702 authorities to illegally spy on a member of Congress. Can you tell us who that member of Congress was? Has that member of Congress been briefed by the White House?
I would refer you to the Department of Justice. Just not going to speak to that from here. Go ahead.
Thanks, Green. On the budget that's coming out later this week, you referred to it as fiscal year budget, which it is. It has also been talked about in the last couple months as it relates to the debt ceiling. And we've heard the president in the recent months as well talk about the need to finish the job. Talk about the State of the Union, mention that phrase today. Should we view the budget that's coming out? I know you won't get into specifics, but in terms of this fiscal year document, in terms of needing to take on the debt ceiling, or in terms of something much bigger than that, a job that the president wants to finish in the upcoming.
So when he talks about finishing the job, he talks about looking at the first 2 years of his administration and what he's been able to accomplish. You hear the president speak to how he has built an economy or wants to continue to build an economy from the bottom up, middle out. You think about the historic pieces of legislation that he's been able to get done. We were talking about, someone just asked me about the manufacturing jobs. Almost 800 manufacturing jobs have been created under this president. That's because of his policies. You think about the Inflation Reduction Act, which lowers costs on healthcare, lowers costs on energy. It's going to change many people's lives. If you think about insulin and capping that at $35 for our seniors, all of those things are incredibly important. He wants to build on that. But then if you move forward and you fast forward and you look at
Really,
just November and what
Valentine.
happened during the
She knows damn well Biden hasn't said anything cold to her ever.
midterms, the American people are very clear. They want us to come together and continue to deliver
So
for
does
them.
everybody
They want
else.
us to continue to fight for their freedoms.
Everybody
they want
is
us
paying
to
attention.
continue to make sure that we lower cost. And so that's what the president's talking about. He wants this. He's asking and saying to Congress, come work with us, Republicans. Why don't we come together and work in a bipartisan way so we can finish the job? And that was the message that the president said in front of Congress at the State of the Union, to finish what he started. That has been historical and that is going to be transformational for families across the country.
A month ago, on February 6th, I'd asked you about TikTok, where there was a national security risk. And you had noted that there was an ongoing CFIUS review at the time. Just last week, there was a conversation about this as well. And you said that it is a, quote, or you talked about the, quote, potential national security risk. So is CFIUS, just if you could clarify, does the White House believe that TikTok is a potential national security risk, or is that what CFIUS, and that process works itself through, will determine?
So there's a CFIUS investigation, so we try not to dive in too much because there is a CFIUS process that's that's ongoing, and we want to let that process go forward. But we have been very clear on our concerns, like with apps like TikTok. I've said that before. You've heard us say that from here. We know certain countries, including China, seek to leverage digital technologies and Americans' data in ways that can present national security risks. And so that has been our statement. That is what we have said for the past several months. But again, it's under CFIUS. The committee is moving forward on looking into this, so we try not to get too far ahead of that. Go ahead.
On the budget, just following up on Zona's question, by traveling to Philly, the president is obviously making a big thing out of this budget. But we know that many Americans find it difficult to really understand what he's doing with the economy. It's not very concrete. And a budget is, as you said, like big figures, trillions, billions, and maybe not relatable. So what's his strategy to make it a little more real for,
So I'm not going to get ahead of what the president's going to say. He's going to give remarks. He'll lay that out in front of the American people and how he sees the fiscal year moving forward, how he sees the budget for the American people. He's going to be transparent. He's going to lay that out and be very specific. We've talked about how he wants to invest in America, right? He talks about how he's going to fight fight for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, ACA. Those are things that Americans
Like Ben
understand very
Shapiro.
personally, especially if you think about these programs that they pay into. And so that is going to be very important for him to lay that out. But it's not just that. The president's going to be fiscally
Hash.
responsible. You all will see this. He'll
She is
communicate that
beautiful.
directly with the American
Hash
people.
likes
But
her.
we want to see, what are the House Republicans going to do? And we've been very clear about that, because what they want to do is the complete opposite of what the president's trying to do. We want to fight for programs that's important to taxpayers, important to our seniors, important to veterans, and they want to take that away. Think about Social Security again, Medicare. And so you'll hear directly from the American people, but from the president. But in the last couple of weeks, in the last several months, the president has laid that out. You heard it at the State of the Union. He's been very clear on what he believes in, on how he sees the economy growing, and how he's going to continue to fight for Americans.
Thanks, Corinne. On student loans, the president said last week that he's not confident that the Supreme Court will decide to clear his plan. So I'm checking if you have an update on what the alternative is if the student loan plan is struck down.
So he's also said we're confident in our legal authority, and I think that matters. And of course, we're not going to know where the Supreme Court is going to ultimately decide on what direction they're going to go. But what you saw from the SG last week was a very strong defense of the president's plan. And right now, the plan that we have before the Supreme Court is the plan that we have for the American people. And we believe that, again, we have the legal authority that the other side does not. It does not have the standing or the merit to really move forward with what they're trying to do. And it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that you have certain elected officials across the country that are trying to prevent nurses and doctors and teachers from getting this type of benefit. We're talking about 90% of Americans who are part of this program, that are considered for this program, make less than $75,000 a year. 90%. And so it's going to give that extra breathing room, as you hear the president speak to. And we think it's very important, and the president's going to continue to fight, just like you saw the Solicitor General do last week. All right, well, go ahead, Courtney.
I wanted to ask you about a bill that passed the Senate last week on declassifying the origins of COVID-19. The bill passed by unanimous consent in the Senate. What's the president's position on it?
So I was just talking to my colleagues about that. I need to connect with the National Security Council to speak more on that. But yes, that just was a flag for me coming out before I came out. Okay, Brian.
Thank you very much. King Charles is going to go through a coronation ceremony on May 6th. Foreign countries and foreign governments have been notified about that. Will the president attend? Will President Biden attend King Charles' coronation ceremony?
So I don't have we don't have anything to announce at this time about a travel to the UK or a delegation at this time as well. But I can say that the United States will be represented at King Charles' coronation, and I expect that we'll have more information to share on that soon.
If the president doesn't attend, should it be seen as a snub to the monarchy or a
Not
snub
at
to
all.
King
Not at
Charles?
all.
Why not?
There's going to be U.S. presentation, so just don't have anything to share at this time. Okay.
Great, thanks. There was a report last week about how Ford's F-150 Lightning, their electric EV truck, is contributing to high pollution and deforestation in the Amazon. Does President Biden regret endorsing that truck back in 2021? Has anyone talked to Ford about how they should source aluminum for the frame from a different mine?
No, do not regret that, and don't have any conversation to read out at this time.
Real quick, I know you're probably going to say Hatch Act is restricting you in this, but is the president annoyed, frustrated with Marianne Williamson for jumping in the race ahead of him? Did he want a clear field to run against the Republican nominee in 2024?
Just not tracking that. I mean, if I had what's it called, a little globe here against the wall, then I can tell you. But I mentioned 8 ball, whatever. If I can feel her aura, I just don't have anything. I just don't have anything to share on that.
Oh,
gosh, you guys are making me laugh.
Boom! I bet I'm gonna be the first podcaster to find that. Wow. Oh my God. This turned out to be a freaking expedition that led to a discovery of gold I wasn't expecting. I'm going to tell you what I was looking for was, let me tell you, she's good at her job, man. I really actually enjoyed listening to her talk this whole time. It was very informative, and she's very polite, and they get along very well, the press and her, and I like that. That's the kind of press conference I like, and she's professional, and she conducts it in a professional way. I got to give her 100% credit for that. Hey, and on Women's Day, too. It's National Women's Day. So great, man, great. So we can really appreciate a woman right now. We can honor this one right here. If that's okay, I'm calling her a woman. Is that okay, ladies? You guys still possess this one, right? Okay, just let me know. I don't want to go back on anything or whatever. We'll move on. But this is my point. She said, I heard on another clip from CNN where she was just making comment about, and it was kind of like just a little afterthought. She had said, countries that go and impose their will on other countries, that needs to stop now, or something like that. She made a comment like that, and that was the comment I was looking for, right? Well, as it would turn out, she just says this instead, which, makes me forget all about what I was doing before. This is it, and I'm going to write this down. 121. This is crazy. Basically, 121. Let's go back. 121.15. 121. Let's go to 12030.
Billy Ballantyne.
12030.
I tested my wife's wrinkle cream on my ball sack. Crap doesn't work at all.
Balls are still wrinkled, huh?
Has anyone talked to Ford about how they should source aluminum for the frame from a different mine?
No, do not regret that, and don't have any conversation to read out at this time.
Real quick, I know you're probably going to say Hatch Act is restricting you in this, but is the president annoyed, frustrated with Marianne Williamson for jumping in the race ahead of him? Did he want a clear field to run against the Republican nominee in 2024?
So is this at 12010? I want to get it right at the start.
It's going to be U.S. presentation. Just don't have anything to share at this time. Okay.
Kareem, thanks. There was a report last week about how Ford's F-150 Lightning, their electric EV truck,
goes quick,
is contributing to
she handles that one so fast, and then
Amazon.
boom, Marianne
President
Williamson.
Biden regret endorsing
It's like
that truck
he's like
back in
he's a
2021.
boxer,
Has anyone talked
and he
to Ford
threw
about
like
how
kind of
they
like
should
a
source
fame
aluminum
punch,
for the frame
and she
from a different mine?
fell for it or something, and he
do
just
not
throws a
regret that,
freaking
and
knockout right
don't
here.
have any conversation to read out at this time.
Real quick.
Real quick. Here comes the knockout punch. 120-37. Real quick, he's going to throw a freaking knockout punch at you. And you don't see it coming because he was so smooth on the delivery of the first question. And then he throws the freaking Marianne Williamson, and she goes to the crystal ball, bro. She went to the crystal ball. So this is going to be what the left is going to do against Marianne Williamson, and it's starting right here at the very top. She's putting out the talking points memo as we speak. And I'm going to play it for you full screen, so I have a recording of it here that I'm going to be able to use. I just made the wrong thing full screen. Ooh, look how big I am. Here we go. Okay. Let's turn off these stats for nerds, I guess. I've never hit that before. Okay, I'm going to hit record, too. I'm going to actually make a clip of this as well. So, I'm going to wait for this music to stop playing because it is top of the hour. But just hold, because this is just a really quick clip. And then we'll smoke as soon as I cut it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
To read out at this time.
Real quick. I know you're probably going to say Hatch Act is restricting you in this, but is the president annoyed, frustrated with Marianne Williamson for jumping in the race ahead of him? Did he want a clear field to run against the Republican nominee in 2024?
Just not tracking that. I mean, if I had a what is it called, a little globe here, crystal ball, then I can tell you. But I imagine 8-ball, whatever. If I could feel her aura, I just don't have it. I just don't have anything to share on that. Oh gosh, you guys are making me laugh now. Okay, in the back at the mask.
Wow, listen to them yuck it up. You know, I mean, I'm sitting here like everybody that has been through this with Bernie Sanders knew that this exactly was going to be the attack. And I say it about Marianne Williamson because of course it's true, but then I listened to Marianne Williamson and I realized that now I support her. She says a lot of the things that I agree with. And, you know, I might not like some of, you know, her funding. I might not like some of the things she says. I might not like the fact that she thinks that we're all interconnected with energy and that crystals and things work and whatever she believes in. This was going to be the attack against her, though. And that right there was the talking point memo coming down from the White House for the entire letter. Now watch Twitter. It's gonna be the, and you know, she's really elevated herself politically by staying out of the fray, and when she engages people, she does it very professionally. She's very professional, like this woman is. Marianne Williamson is all. You guys saw her her announcement speech when she announced that she was running for, she was going to run for president of the United States. We watched it together on this show. She was impressive, and she made a lot of sense. All right, Cyber, you ready to smoke?
I'm ready.
All right, we've got Scooby-Doo. All right, is he still here? Because I'm not hearing people enter and... Wait, no, it's just me and you.
Oh, wow.
I'm not hearing him come or go. I don't hear him come or go. I don't know why that is.
No, I didn't hear it either.
Okay.
But it happens all the time.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, cheers to
It's
everybody.
why when I
Go ahead.
play games, I have the overlay up. It's easy to see, but else I don't fucking see it. All right, I'm packed.
Okay. Cheers, Cyber, no law regarding cannabis. Billy, cheers. Hash, cheers. Josh G, cheers. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, bro. Cheers, everybody.
All right, let's finish this up really quick here. See if she's going to say...
Thank you. With regard to the budget, do you know, can you speak to if there's been any argument against pursuing renewed COVID funding within the president's budget? And if so, what happens?
Yeah, I'm not going to get ahead of the president's budget at this time. You'll hear directly from him on Thursday. I mentioned how we'll have some parts of his budget that we'll kind of lay out for all of you ahead of Thursday. I'm just not going to get ahead of the president at this time. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, you. Go
I
ahead.
want to ask you about the protests over the weekend near Atlanta. Dozens of people were arrested protesting the so-called cop city. Is the president aware of this? And is the White House worried about this escalating?
Wait, say that again. What was the protest?
The protest was, it's a facility, a training facility that's being constructed for police officers. It's called Cop City. It's near a black residential area. The protesters are concerned that this is going to lead to escalation of police militarization. There have been 23 that have been charged with domestic terrorism, but there were 35 people arrested. So the concern is the president aware?
35 people accused, arrested, and charged with domestic terrorism. She's playing dumb and hasn't responded yet to say that the president is more than fully aware of this situation of domestic terrorism and inside his own country. Certainly, right?
Aware of this? Is the White House concerned about this escalating? And then I also had a follow-up. The Georgia Attorney General has said that some of the people that have been arrested were from outside of the United States, from Canada, from France, from an international group.
Hey, Jimbo!
That were here just to
Canada,
undermine American public safety. So, is the White House tracking this? And how worried is the White House about this?
No, we have not been. I've not heard any discussions about this protest over the weekend, so we'd have to go back to the team and see where we are, where we're standing, and a response on that. Just this is the first time I'm hearing about this protest over the weekend.
Bullshit.
So just would have to
Treasure Coast Waters.
So,
LOL.
domestic terrorism, and this liar is looking us all in our faces. And I want you all to know what the White House spokesperson looks like when she's lying to your face. Okay, she looks just like
public safety. So is the White House tracking this, and how worried is the White House about this?
We have not been, I've not heard any discussions about this protest over the weekend, so we'd have to go back to the team and see where we are, where we're standing, and a response on that. Just, this is the first time I'm hearing about this protest over the weekend, so just would have to come back to you on that. All right, Stephen.
Thank you, Kareem. I have a Saudi
35 Americans arrested for domestic terrorism. I've not heard. I'm the White House spokesperson, and I have not heard. What? I'm sorry, what? She's like, what? I love that. In other words, you hadn't had time to come up with what you're going to say yet because you hadn't spoken to the president yet. So you don't have anything to say about it, so you have to act like you don't know what's going on. We got you. Is my noise? Yeah, bring the noise reduction.
Next question for you first, and then I'd like to ask you about Russia sanctions. Regarding Saudi Arabia, there's a 72-year-old U.S. citizen named Saad al-Mahdi who was in prison for a series of tweets he wrote when he was in Florida. He was given a 16-year sentence in October, and you commented on the case then. The Saudi appeal system decided to review the case, and last month decided he needed an extra 3 years in prison, despite the White House condemning the original sentence. His son told me it was a middle finger to President Biden, and that he wants his...
How long out are you?
I'm packing.
I'm packing. That's in the process of, son. We are about to find out something here. I believe this is, man, we've waited all this time. There is only 3 or 4 minutes left of this press conference, and she is going to say it. She's going to say, how dare some other country impose their will on other people, or something like that. And that's going to be the icing on this cake, because we've already got the cake. I didn't realize that Marianne Williamson, bro. I'm going to have to put that on Twitter. You know, I'm going to be the podcaster that exposed that. I don't know if anybody else was watching the White House press conference, but I saw it with y'all. And I might be the first one. And, bro, everyone needs to know that when the left starts going down on Marianne Williamson and saying, oh, crystal ball, and she's into, she's into energy and all the things that I say about her. And that's how they're going to ignore the substance of what she has to offer. And trust me, I didn't want to listen to what she said, but I did, and I agree with everything she says, guys. I don't know. You know, there might be something in there I don't agree with, but I didn't hear it yet. There might be something on her platform I disagree with, but still, I want to hear my issues being discussed in the debates by her, because she's really good at debating, and she's good looking too. Hey man, it's women. It's International Women's Day. It's another powerful woman that we are honoring today. Marianne Williamson, thank you. Cheers, Cyber. Cheers to all the women out there of the world. Cheers, Treasure Coast, and anybody watching on the Rumble Sphere. Thank you for watching, tuning in. Cheers. No longer gonna get it.
Cheers, bro. Cheers, everybody.
Billy Valentine. I'm going sapling hunting today. Gonna start 2 or 3 bonsai trees. Treasure Coast Waters. Yes, sir, cheers.
Yo, Billy, did you see that woman's got like 400,000 followers on Twitter? She only follows like 4,000 people back. She followed me. The whistleblower on Ron DeSantis. Rebecca Jones. Did you see it? Okay, let's see if this is it.
Bothered to be declared wrongfully detained. There's been some bipartisan reaction to this. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar told me that it's, quote, atrocious and unbecoming for the Biden administration not to declare him wrongfully detained. So just President Biden have a reaction to the new sentence, and is there a reaction to the one?
So we have been monitoring the case of Mr. Saad Ibrahim al-Mahdi, as you know. I think I've mentioned this before, not just myself, but my National Security Council colleagues as well. Since we learned of his arrest and have been in regular contact with his family, we have brought up and raised our concerns regarding this case at senior levels at the Saudi government. So that is something that we've been very vocal about and brought up again to government officials. And exercising, our belief is exercising the freedom of expression, including through social media, should never be criminalized. I'm not going to get into the process here and how we move forward. That's something that the State Department, as it relates to these types of issues, but we've made ourselves very clear, and we made ourselves clear as well to the Saudi government.
It's fair to say President Biden is upset about the new sentence.
What I can say is that we have raised our concerns and have spoken to this particular individual a couple of times from this podium.
His son told me it was a middle finger to President Biden and that he wants his father to be declared wrongfully detained. There's been some bipartisan reaction to this. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar told me that it's, quote, atrocious and unbecoming for the Biden administration not to declare him wrongfully detained. So does President Biden have a reaction to the new sentence, and is there a reaction to the one?
So we have been monitoring the case of Mr. Saad Ibrahim al-Mahdi, as you know. I think I've mentioned this before, not just myself, but my National Security Council colleagues as well. Since we learned of his arrest and have been in regular contact with his family, we have brought up and raised our concerns regarding this case at senior levels at the Saudi government. So that is something that we've been very vocal about and brought up again to government officials. And exercising, our belief is exercising the freedom of expression, including through social media, should never be criminalized. I'm not going to get into the process here and how we move forward. That's something that the State Department, as it relates to these types of issues, but we've made ourselves very clear, and we made ourselves clear as well to the Saudi government.
It's fair to say President Biden is upset about the new sentence.
What I can say is that we have raised our concerns and have spoken to this particular individual a couple of times from this podium.
Regarding Russia's sanctions, I'm wondering if you could share the reason why President Biden hasn't sanctioned the Russian billionaires Vladimir Yevtushenkov and Yelena Baturina. How is he handling the conflict of interest there, given his son was a business associate of these two people? And can you confirm that as sitting vice president, he dined with Baturina in Georgetown?
I'm just not speaking to anything that's related to his son from here. If you want to ask a question about Hunter Biden specifically, I would refer you to his family. And as it relates to any sanctions, I'm not speaking to individual persons that from Russia. Go ahead.
Thank you. I want to ask you about COVID origins. I understand that administration is trying to get to the bottom of this. I just want to ask you if the final conclusion might look like, is it going to look like each institution that is looking into and investigating come up with their own conclusions, or administration will have one final perspective?
As you know, the intelligence community is looking into this. This is something that the president has asked since a few months into his administration, and so they're redoubling down their efforts. They're looking into the origins of COVID. Clearly, it's important. He believes it's important to get to the bottom of this, especially as we look ahead to the future and trying to prevent any future pandemics. I'm just not going to get ahead of the intelligence community. They're working through this, and I'll just leave it there. All right, thanks everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh my God, man, she never said it. It must have been last week's press conference, man. It must not have been this one. I'm not going to sit through another. It was an hour and a half. Well, I don't know if that was an hour and a half, but the ladies, look at the lady. Look at the lady giving the freaking backwards peace sign. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so the market's recovering, guys. Look at this. It's crazy. We're very close to the 24-hour high on Bitcoin. Ethereum is very close to its 24-hour high. Matic is Harmony's down. Good time to buy it. Cardano is up to 32.5 cents. Binance is skyrocketing. Binance is this one right up here. Oh my God, the one on the very end of the screen. So if that's an indicator, bro. Yeah. I've got so much money just sitting there that I'm not purchasing crypto with, bro. It just gets lower and lower. Where's VRA at, man? That one that I screwed up on. Dude, it's down to 0.005. Oh my goodness gracious. Dude, the bottom dropped out of that one. Holy moly. VRA, was that it? Was that the one? I think it was. Yeah, because Army's at 0.1. That's at 0.001. That's just fucking tenth. A tenth of a cent? Dude. I don't know what happened there, man. Holy shit. God bless America. What happened, VRA? I don't know, man. This 24-hour view is very limited. When I use different software, I have a much wider perspective when I can open it up into a brighter, like a 7-day and a 30-day and a 60-day and a 90-day. See the whole, see where it is in relation to where it's been over a longer period of time. Like Binance, it would be nice to know what the all-time high of Binance is. I'm thinking it might be close to $1,000. Once again, do I not have my phone with me? I think I do. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. What is the all-time high of Binance? $676.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's at 292. So if it goes back to its all-time high, someone will more than double their money that they put into that. You know, money is money. When the coins go up in value, doubling your money on a big coin and doubling your money on a penny coin is the exact same output. So if you're looking at Binance and you're thinking it's going to go up to 400, 500, you know, it's at 300 right now. You're thinking, I think it's going to go up, blah, blah, blah. And you're looking at Harmony and you're like, I'm thinking Harmony's going to go up. And you're looking at Bitcoin. Then you could just take your money and buy all three of them. And watch all three do what they're going to do. You know, that's what I did. But I did it over a much broader range. I wanted to play as many different options, and I'm so glad I did. Or if I hadn't have done that, I would have never found Harmony. And to this day, no one is talking about Harmony. No one's talking about Harmony. I mean, I made right now $3,000 right there. There's a $3,000 trade right there. Boom. If I'm out, $3,000. Boom. Thank you very much. That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds good. $3,000 sounds good. Was a lot of money to put down for $3,000. $34,500, but it's still, nobody's making that kind of interest on that money in a bank. Guaranteed. And that's the kind of return, you know, that you get for that risk. But, you know, it's March, man. What happened to my March stuff? It's supposed to march up. So when's that going to happen? Could Binance be the, oh, it's at plus 2%, guys. Binance is at plus 2%. Could that be the, Shiba Inu is at plus 7%. XRP plus 4%. Luna plus 3.2. Binance 2. EFI 2. Elon 0%. 0.06%. Might want to watch the overall market. According to Bitcoin, it's been underneath its 24-hour average for the last 24 hours, according to the 24-hour map, the 24-hour graph. Chart. Call it a chart. To me, it's a bullish sign. It's stayed down for a whole day. I think it's about time for it to explode upwards. Am I looking at the pattern, what's going down? There's a falling wedge pattern on Bitcoin. It's just broken up out of in the 24-hour. There was a massive fucking head and shoulders on the 24-hour. Not good. It's not good. That's not good. On the Bitcoin. So there might be another drop because of that massive head and shoulders, but it's, man, right now it's above, it's broken up above that freaking falling wedge pattern. And based on three things, the fact that it's been under its 24-hour, 4, here, let's show you the chart here. And hopefully I won't lock up. And if I lock up, guys, I'm sorry if I lose the show. Okay, so let's just go with this. Okay, so this is our Bitcoin chart. This is our falling wedge pattern. Okay, it's been going down. And this is crazy. But this was a, what is this? Shoulder, head, shoulder, right? Inverse, so it shot up, right? Got up here and continued with the falling wedge pattern. This helped. This came down and then, you know, it just plunged and returned to what? Basically, it returned to this falling wedge pattern. Like, you can almost shoot a line right through this. So this is kind of balancing out this, right? And you get the difference of those shows you this. So what happened here? We broke up outward, up out of the falling wedge pattern, but this is following a massive head and shoulders pattern. You got a shoulder, head, shoulder pattern right here. This is huge. This is going to result in a giant drop. That drop is happening right now, actually, right? There's so much activity in the market right now. There's so much good stuff going on. What day is today? Wednesday? It's great trading day. So fantastic. This is what's going to happen. This is going to drop, and then it's going to continue to bounce up out of this falling wedge pattern based on this 24 hours of being under its 24-hour average. In my opinion, there's that. There's what Binance just did as well. Binance chart is basically an image of this. And then there's
The freaking oracle.
Giant spike upwards.
Have a look at BlackBerry ENU chart. BKBY, 7 million market cap in less than a week.
BlackBerry ENU. Hell yeah. Are you in on that one, bro? Those are some altcoins, baby. Some of that altcoin action.
The freaking oracle. Of course.
Yeah, hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah, butter. Get out before the rug pull, bro. Make your money and run. Grab that money quick. Back. I see the same goddamn rhetoric. We got this, we got that. Oh, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. You made me promises. You made me that you would never keep. You made me all of your promises. What? Oh, snap. Nay pulled a goddamn 1980s tune that no one has heard since the 1980s. What? Genius content. You get the genius 1980s referenced content here, folks. You don't even know what band that was. Who made that song, everybody, in the chat? 1980s band, Promises. Who was it? DeF4SClST. So like I said, we got that drop from that head and shoulders pattern. It's a huge head and shoulders. So I'd expect this drop to go further than 2284. I'd expect it to go way down. But it's going to reverse back up and then skyrocket up, I believe, like Binance did. So get ready for that jack. Are you ready for it? 22.95.90. 22.95.90. 22.96. Just went up 10 cents. $22.97.80, $22.98.80, $22.99.40. Purple marker. So you want to kind of risk consolidation. We're going to get right here. 96.20, 94.40. $94.40, 91, 95. That's a high bottom.
The freaking oracle.
That's a high bottom on that purple marker, guys.
Kennel token is another good one. It's going to be used as a liquidity locker for any contracts launched on Shibarium blockchain. Just saying. Also, Bone Token is doing a very nice.
Hell yeah, brother. Kennel and Bone. Very, very K9-esque. We got a low bottom on the next candle, guys. Not a good sign. That is a bearish signal. Having a low bottom. So when I say that, I want you guys to see this. I want to explain it to you. So when you look at these candles right here, you look at this purple one, and I noticed it had a high bottom compared to where this green one was. So you got this green one, the bottom of the candle is way down here. Up here, this purple candle, which is a signal that it's about to drop, had a very high bottom. So when we went to the next one, yeah, that was a good signal. But when we got to the next one, that had a low bottom, and that's not a good signal. That told me that the price was probably going to drop, and that's exactly what's happened. Now we got a low bottom on this next candle. That's what I mean when I say high bottom, low bottom, all that stuff. Is you with me? Is you with me? Here comes a whole bunch of volume into the market for some reason. Something's going on. Let's see what happens. Big drop. Let's see how low it goes. Here we go. Here's a huge drop. 22.59, 64, 61. It's going. I think it's responding still to that fucking giant head and shoulders pattern. Let's see how much lower it can go. It could go down more. It could go down to 22.40, I bet. It's at 22.61. It got down to 22.55. I bet it could get down to 22.40. It's at 22.67. Let's see what happens. The reason I say that is based on looking at the head shoulder pattern. And where I'm guessing. Up, high bottom on the next yellow candle. High bottom. But it's dropping. You guys can't see that here. It's right there. I got a nice high bottom on that one, but the market's showing a drop right now. What time is it? Okay, I got stuff I want to do. But you guys are awesome, and I hope you had fun. And remember, freaking Oracle told you to look into Blackberry Inu, which is I'm going to write these down, BKBY. He's been right about shit before. He's also lost me some money. I'm still going to write this down. BKBY. BK baby. He says kennel. And bone.
The
Got it.
freaking Oracle. And look into Kingdom, they are giving away a Tesla Cybertruck.
Oh God, my cousin would love to have that. I'd give it to him too. My cousin's kid. I'd win that and give it to him. I'd be like, come over here and get your fucking truck, you fucking punk bitch. He'd be like, what? I got one of them fucking cyber trucks, dude. I'm giving it to you.
Treasure Coast Waters.
Be nice to me. Come get that
Kof
motherfucker.
FSI.
You'll be nice to your second cousin, yo. Somebody I need you to go visit in a few days. In that truck. And I'm gonna want you to deliver them a pizza! You're gonna do it for me! You're gonna do this. And every time I want a pizza delivered to somebody, you're gonna do it in this truck for me.
The freaking Oracle. Kingdom is partnering with Wagner Studios to make a game for Android and iOS phones.
Oh, bro, I saw somebody playing a driving game on a commercial on my on the phone that I've got, the S23 Ultra. And they were steering the car with the phone around a track. They were doing that. I'd probably throw up in 10 seconds. I'd be sick for 2 days after. Just me doing what I just did made me kind of feel a little weird. Anyhow, you guys are great. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want you to know something. I've got a million things to talk about on here. That January 6th thing with Tucker Carlson, you know. Watch the beginning of this show, I guess I'm going to say about that. You guys are great. Anyway, I love y'all. And if I think of anything else, I'm going to come back and I'm going to yell at you again. So take care.
Nick Brown.
Hashtag keep it open. Yes.
Hashtag keep it open.
You guys take care. 3 hours isn't enough, y'all. We do 3 hours like it's nothing. I get you 3 hours of content like it's nothing. We're watching the cryptos. We're talking the news. I'm giving you views. I'm looking at you. You're looking at me. You're looking at you.
K. John. Much love.
Thank you, K. John. All right.
Nick Brown. Thanks, bro.
Yes. Yes. You guys take care. Bye. Bye-bye. I'm going to go play with the creek for a second. I got something I got to do. I got to do the creek. I got the creek. I'm creaking. I got to go. Oh, I got videos, don't I? And pictures. I do. I got good videos and pictures. I'll take more.
Treasure Coast Waters. Peace, bro.
All right. To you too, my friend.
Restream.io.
My friend.
Congratulations.
Yes.
You've received 100 messages today with Restream chat.
Unreal. 26 minutes until full. This phone is fully charged. You're all very good, yo. You know, I will only snort half a line of ultra potent super male vitality in the morning because it is so ultra potent. And then once I do that, I will eat at least. Wow, look at this crypto market taking off on Nays Garden. This is really exciting. You know, when I'm watching the crypto market take off on Nays Garden, it is so ultra potent. I will watch at least half of his show before I will go back and watch the other half of ultra potent Nays Garden, because Nays Garden is so ultra potent. And look how trippy Nays Garden is. Suddenly I go in there and I take my second half of an ultra potent line of ultra potent super male vitality because it is so ultra potent. And let me tell you something. Nays Garden has become trippy for me. I'm looking at it and the lines are going up and down. I don't understand why. I'm looking at it and then I realize we're entering another dimension. That's correct. The interdimensional shape-shifting reptilian aliens are coming to steal our thoughts. That is exactly what's going on screen right now. You're literally feeling it going on. You're watching the numbers being pushed and shoved around. Nothing going on there either. All right, you guys are great. Love y'all. Hope you laughed. I hope you laughed. I hope you had fun. I hope you considered some stuff that I talked about. And if you want to really support me more, guys, it's super easy. Just come to Twitter, man, and follow @NaysGarden over there. It's all I ask y'all to do. Come over. It's all free. I'm giving you content all day. free app, free more content for you. I'll go down to my creek and do some stuff down there, and I'll post it on that Twitter feed for you. You know. So come on, guys. Take care. Love y'all. Peace. Bye. But look at the market. The market's going up. What, are you going to end the show? The market is it's exploding again. Look at the Bitcoins. 22.98. Is it going to go 22.100? It's like watching a freaking horse race over here. I don't know which one to put my money on. Oh! I have to go turn the fans on in this house. We had Stanley Steamer here.
Treasure Coast
I wanted
Waters.
to dry all the carpets.
Peace LOL.
I can't believe
Steven
they
running.
didn't turn on the overhead fans. But
Hashtag keep it open.
you guys take care. Yes, hashtag keep it open. 3 hours. All right, you guys. Bye now. I'll keep my eye on the market so you don't have to. Remember that.